There is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression, there is no fucking mindset in this football club. You won't give any players, you won't give money, nothing you give. You load players and you expect them to play cyber. Load up like cyber, everyone.
You wanna know how I got these scars? My father was a drinker and a fiend. In one night, he goes out crazier than usual. Mommy gets the kitchen knife to defend herself. He doesn't like that. Not one bit. So we watch him. He takes the knife to her. Laughing while he does it, he turns to me and says, "Why so serious?" Comes at me with the knife. "Why so serious?" He sticks the blade in my mouth. Let's put a smile on my face.
Wow. Why so serious, Ari? The Seattle Sounders just lost their 5th game in a row, the first time in club history. Not only that, giving the 2-win Philadelphia Union their first home win of the season. Round of applause for the charity stripes. Incredible. This team looked disastrous today, which is something, unfortunately, we've come to expect. Ari, how you feeling? I'm going to try and get this presser pulled up. Make sure we don't miss it because we don't want to miss a moment. But this game turned me even more into a joker than I already was.
Yeah, it's not great. You know, making history out on the East Coast. Never before have the Seattle Sounders lost 5 straight league games, but they have now. And, you know, it is unfortunate, Noah, because you go into this game. I think none of us like expected them to win or take a result in this game. I think this is kind of what at least you and I expected to happen. I think I said that when we were predicting the schedule on the last show. But, you know, now that we've seen how it actually played out, this Philly team is bad enough where a result actually was attainable, even in spite of the fact that the Seattle Sounders are in their worst run of form in their history, in their MLS history. And they still could not come all that close to scoring. So we've got the hostage video pulled up, and we'll get that started with Brian Schmetzer and whoever they're bringing out in just a few minutes, it looks like. But yeah, I mean, we'll get into all the negatives about where things stand right now. But I think the thing right off rip that makes it even more frustrating than it already would have been, given that we expected them to lose this game, is that the opposition was such that they actually didn't have to lose this game. If they had even been able to generate enough sustained pressure or generate enough chances to score even one goal, they could have gotten a point in this game, which really wouldn't have like mattered in the broader picture. It would have mattered in terms of the standings, I guess. But like, I don't think, you know, they could have scrapped out the 1-1 in this game, or this game could have played out the exact same way pretty much, but they scrap out a 1-0 and get super lucky somehow. That would not really, it would be good for morale, but in terms of where things actually stand at this moment in time, I don't think it would have mattered. I think we saw everything we needed to see in terms of how the actual game went. So that's kind of that. We'll get into it more, but that's where I'm at, like right off the bat.
We'll absolutely get into it more, and we will take your calls. I see some people asking how you call in. Once we get past the press conferences, once me and Ari get past our takes, we will drop that link to call in the comments. We do only have spot for 8 people at once. If there's more than 8 people, it'll just say there's not room, and you'll just have to keep trying to join. I will say, though, we are going to try and move people through quickly today, as me and Ari. Listen, if the team doesn't want to show up and play, fuck if I'm going to show up and play. Like, you know what I mean?
We've done 3 hours each of the last 2 games.
Yeah,
so.
like it's the Philadelphia Union. You just lost to the worst club in Major League Soccer, maybe despite, I don't know, maybe Sporting is worse, but it doesn't really matter. We did just get
like record-wise and points-wise, they're the worst team in the league right now. I mean, I don't know about anymore, but they were going into this game.
They absolutely were going into this. Kavon, well, let's hit the super chat here. Post-game bingo, unlucky. Game away in the away games in MLS are blank. One unfortunate moment. played better, non-DP interview, good play from a Defiance player. So got chat. I want everyone to write these down, and I want everyone to notify us in chat if one of these things happens in the post-game press conference. Want to hear unlucky. If we hear unlucky at all, away games are tough in MLS. One unfortunate moment, played better, non-DP interview, and good play from a Defiance player. So I think you might be able to hit most of those. So we'll see if those all come true. Thanks for making that bingo card there, MG206. The one prediction that I had thankfully didn't come true, and that was Kevon Sullivan did not score or assist on the Seattle Sounders. Though honestly, Ari, he probably should have. That second goal looked like it was onside.
Yeah, no, I thought he was for sure on. Like, I'm glad that VAR showed the restraint to not delay the game for 27 minutes and then change it, because it was one of those situations where you couldn't really tell if that, but that should have probably been a good goal. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I don't know where we are, but I think Chad has the right idea here that these games are getting harder and harder to watch. I legitimately I can't even get up the energy to be upset anymore. It's like
I've reached the point of acceptance. I've ascended past the point of like lashing out and being too bent out of shape about it. It is what it is. Like like I said, we literally, did I not say that exactly what would happen before the game?
No, you literally said that. We had this conversation 3 days ago when we were sitting.
I said this is one of those games where in MLS where you and I have watched this league long enough to know this is one of those road games where you know what's going to happen before it even happens. And honestly, it was not even as bad as I thought it was going to be, for whatever that's worth, which is not a lot. But like, I thought,
wait, that's bingo card. That's bingo card.
What did I say? I think he meant for the presser, but what did I say?
I know, but away games in MLS are blank. I feel like that one fits close. So everyone gets a point. Make sure to check it off on your bingo card at home.
Well, so I mean, away games in MLS are difficult, but this is known theoretically, historically, as a very good away, as the statistically highest performing away team in Major League Soccer. So under normal circumstances, in normal times, this is a game where you would expect them to be able to go get a result. This is a stadium where they went and won last year pretty easily. Like, remember that? Yeah. Obed Vargas
to
was...
be fair, they did play that game between 2 months. The game took 2 months to complete, but
it did happen. Was that the Raccoon game? I have that on the thumbnail. I don't know.
No,
if you saw
it wasn't
that.
the Raccoon game, but it was the game where they had the weather delay so long that they played it like a month and a half.
Okay,
later. They played the last 20 minutes or whatever.
I used the Raccoon for the thumb because I was like, it was like 2 years ago, but it is a Philly Union reference, and also I think it actually kind of sums up like the guys chasing it. With the trash
we're digging in the trash.
Yeah,
we are literally in the trash.
That's like that was an intentional photo choice.
Yeah,
photo choice. If anyone was wondering, but. Yeah,
Reese has a banger here. I think we need to note this here.
Oh,
Reese
please.
Rusnak may have had one of the best performances today. He almost assisted Kevon. That cross to Kevon Sullivan was his most dangerous attack.
It was a dime. Honestly, Reese has been on fire, just cooking my ass for the last 2 weeks, and I'll take it. It's,
Reese, I know is cloud nining right now, just from everything that he's been saying for the past like 2.5 years. Like, Reese is an OG, and he's been on the brigade, and it's like, what do? You got to give it to them when they're right. So, oh God, I want to hear. I have two negatives. I just want to get them off.
No, I have a lot of stuff written down to get to as well. I was hoping they would start this hostage video, but maybe
they're yelling at him in the locker room right now. There's no
to what end?
Kavin, not Kavon.
It is Kavin. Yeah.
You know what, guys? How long have you watched the Lobbing? This is what I'm going to crash out about right now. How long have you all watched the Lobbing Scorchers broadcast to know we're not going to pronounce anything correctly? That is our shtick. First, it was the fucking Darwin Quintero team yesterday, and now we're getting Kavin. It doesn't matter. He plays for Bangladesh. I can't get his name right. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what you want.
Here's something we can. Okay. You had your negatives that you wanted to cook on.
Yeah. Well, number one, I just Paul Arriola getting a start made me. That's when I filmed that joke.
I was gonna say we should talk about the lineup, because that's not what made me joker with the lineup. Was like running the same double pivot again. Is there something that like we're missing with that? Like,
I think that I don't know. I like
Pete. Okay, first of all,
Yeah.
Peter Kingston has to be a starter on this team right now. Like,
Yes.
there's no
Yes.
there's no way around that. And I don't care if it's at right back. I don't care if it's at center mid. I don't care if it's on the wing. I don't care if he's your number set. He is one of the only ones who is bringing juice and energy right now. And the team did the team not look way better once he subbed on? Like, they got
so
way
much
close
better
to
once he came on.
Yeah. So like, why is he?
It's the one guy. He's rocking right now.
He can play in that double pivot, I bet. Like, he is mix it up, physical, like, type player. Covers ground, runs a lot. Like, he's not going to be Christian Roldan at it, but he can do. I would be surprised if you put him out there if he didn't do it functionally, especially because he is playing his ass off right now. So like, I don't understand. Like, you may as well run him in the double pivot for either one of Hassani or Snyder. It doesn't matter. Like, that's one of my biggest complaints right now.
I don't understand playing this. I don't care who you put in there. Also, where are the goddamn transfer rumors? If you truly don't have anyone, you can't even just pick someone up. You can't even just pick someone up from an MLS team. Put out a little game around. What the fuck are we doing?
Put out a fake rumor. Put out a fake rumor like Atlanta United's been doing.
You know what? I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to put out a fake rumor.
Atlanta United put out rumors. They're like, oh, we got Koke inbound. We got Darwin Nunez coming inbound. And then 2 days later, they're like, they signed with Koke is staying at Atletico. Oh, Darwin Nunez is going to Turkey. Like, they're awesome leak it, fake us out.
I feel like Tommy Scoops knows, because like he'll know, like, oh, they had a conversation with someone or they're looking at someone, which is generally when you would be like, okay, Atlanta United are rumored to be with this person, right? But everyone knows the Sounders aren't actually going to sign them. So any talks are meaningless. Why report on something you know is never going to happen? It's like, at least Atlanta, will go out there and throw $15 million.
It's like feasible that they would do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like, bro, what the hell are we doing?
Man, can we please get the hostage video going, man? Because
this is what's going. Ghost Snack is on the stand right now, chat. Ghost Snack is here. That's the player that they selected. He's speaking right now. You just can't hear him. Okay, let's go down the list. Sorry, we need to continue to talk about Paul Arriola. Why in the fuck is he starting?
Because you're paying him $1.1 million. So you may as well see what's going on. I mean, you'd have to buy him out. You think they're going to do that?
Nope. Oh, I heard him. Let's see who it is. Oh, they won't tell us yet. They won't tell us yet. They wouldn't tell me yet. But all right. Dude, okay. I hate that I have to play into the damn Craig Weibel, bad.
We're brigade now. We're brigade now.
I don't want to be I've resisted the toxins, the poison, the drink for so long, and yet here I am. Is Paul Arriola the worst signing in Sounders history?
No, he's
top
not.
5.
I don't think he's had enough time to create a legacy like that. But dude, I mean, what about there's just a lot of competition there. Okay, hostage video.
All right, guys. Thank you both very much for your time. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right, we're going to get going. First question to Maz Vida. Maz, go ahead, please.
Yeah, hey, fellas. Look, you've lost 5 in a row, and there's no moral. Can you hear me? There's no moral victories. But can you hear me?
Not a little bit. I think the AC.
Okay. I'll just try to chop it up. I mean, make it real quick here, real succinct. Hey, are you seeing any improvement from last game to this game? I know you've lost 5 in a row. Are you seeing any improvement, even though you lost another game?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think obviously we gave up, the goal in the first half, but we still had chances, to come out here and get a result. See the fight there from the guys. I think we're just a little bit unlucky. I think it's time for us to create our own luck. we keep battling. I mean, the games aren't going to get any easier. And
What does that look like, creating your own luck? Is just a confidence thing? Is that what that is? Just a belief? Not that you don't have belief, but how do you create that luck? How do you put that in your mind? Or is it there already?
I think it's just, going back to the basics. I mean, we all believe in one another, and, we had a really good fight out there today. And I think the first step is, don't concede the first goal. Obviously that, they're in their home stadium and gives them a little bit more confidence, gets the crowd involved. But I think that's step number one for us. And the longer we keep the game 0-0, the more we grow into the game, and the more we have a chance to come out with a win.
Thank you.
Thanks, Miles. Next question, we'll go over to Jeremiah. Take it away, Jeremiah.
Yeah, how would you guys describe the mood in the locker room right now? I mean, how would you describe it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a mood. It's football. It's easy to say that the mood is not good because we don't win. We can say whatever we want. We can work hard. We can work smart. But I'm very comfortable on this team. I've been on this team since 2017. So we're gonna get a win. I see we're gonna get the first win. We're gonna get comfortable and everything will come easy. So
I think there's some frustration, but that only comes because we have good expectations for what we want to do. And this club has been very successful in the past, so I think if you're not frustrated, if you're not unhappy with the results, then that means you don't care. So I think we're gonna take the time to reflect on this game and then focus on the next one and put all of our energy into that. Like I said, we got to create our own luck, and it's about time that we start getting results.
All right, guys, we'll keep going here. And thank you in advance just for speaking up. I'm told you're having some difficulties with the HVAC in the room, so appreciate you working through that with us. The next question, we're going to Jada Evans at the Seattle Times. Jada, go ahead, please.
Thanks. Thanks for the time, Young. With this kind of situation, when you're losing 5 games, I mean, are you getting enough of assistance or help on ideas on what to do from the coaching staff as far as how to fix things? How is that aspect? Are you getting the support that you need in that realm?
Of course, I mean, the coaches are preparing us. They're laying down the tactics, some things we need to do better, and the strengths of the other team. I think we have to take accountability and put that into action. There's only so much they can tell us until the game kicks off, and it's up to us to execute. And we have enough veteran guys and enough high quality players that we get the job done.
All right, next. Oh, Jada, go ahead and ask a follow-up if you need one.
Well, yeah, I'm just wondering though, then when you kind of look around the locker room, I mean, you have injuries too. So when you look around, you feel that what you have right now can get you out of this?
yeah, I mean, injury. I mean, last year you had a lot of injury. You were very good on this call. Like I say, if somebody is injured, the next guy gonna step up and be happy and be proud of these young guys. They do very talented matches to these two, and they are a very good game. Yeah, it's like I say, it's easy to say like you have injury, but I'm very confident with this team. I really want this team. When we gonna get the first win, everything becomes easy. So yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move over to Callahan next. Callahan, go ahead and ask a question, please.
So what do you think has been the biggest issue over these 5 games? Obviously, 5 losses in a row, they're going to have a lot of issues. But do you think there's one big issue, or do you think it's more team-wide?
Yeah, I know we lost, it's been 5 in a row. But, after the break, I think, we had a reset and more starts from there. I think, we played a rival. Obviously, we don't want to look too much into the past, but that result is, unacceptable. And then you look at Austin, they scored towards the end. So maybe if we have a little bit more discipline and try to see that, it out. And then today, I thought we battled really hard and the ball didn't bounce our way. And, we let them, continue to gain momentum, but we still created enough chances to come out of here, with a better result. So I think if we focus on the totality of the results too much, then, it takes a little bit of energy away from focusing against what.
All right, we'll take one or two more, guys. Appreciate you working with us here on the audio issues again. Felipe Makeda, go ahead and ask your question, please.
Thank you, Alex. Guys, in your opinion, what's happening with the team? Why is in this moment in the Seattle Sounders history? I know football is about moments, but do you think is the locker room, is the front office, is the coaching staff? What do you think, or is a combination of the three, or what's happening right now?
I feel like, yeah, Niner is a player. We're not gonna bear any office or any. We've been winning 4, 5, 7, 8 injuries, like I said. So right now, we just what we're gonna do: come together, work smart, work hard, believe. Like I said, if we win one, and we don't want to see, we're gonna win below just from this point. So we're very confident. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it starts just with one result. You know, one win leads to another one. Gotta go from there. Like I said, you know, historically this has been a pretty successful club, and you know, our office and coaching staff have been a big part of that. So, I think,
all right, we'll take. Or sorry, Hassani, didn't mean to step on you.
No, that's it. It's fine.
We'll take one more here. Jeremiah, I see you. Go ahead and ask it.
Yeah, you know, I guess I'm curious specifically about the offense. You know, you said you created some chances today. There weren't a lot of them though. And I'm just curious if there's anything that you think you need to be doing differently offensively. Is it sort of like one of those things where it feeds on itself, where you're so worried about being strong defensively that it's harder to get forward, or is it just a matter of taking some chances?
I think we need to be a little bit braver in some situations. Obviously, you know, we try to keep possession predominantly, but today was started off a little bit more as a dogfight. But you know, if you look at their chances in the first half, you know, goals change games. They scored one ball in behind. Guy made a great finish, but you know, if we score, you know, the one that cut back, or you know, if Ozaze gets that shot off, you know, not blaming any of our guys, but you know, that changes the outcome of the game. And so I think also, you know, playing away from home, I thought, you know, we took the fight to them today, and I think that's when, you know, we gotta look back at the video and see how we can play from behind and maybe change our mindset a little bit.
All right, Nuhu, Hassani, thank you both very much for your time. We appreciate it. We're going to let you go. Safe travels home.
Thank you, guys.
All right. That was. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, my bad.
There
I
you
was
go.
muted. I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really understand much of what was just said there. I did. Do you have takeaways from that? I don't.
This is what my this is what my take was. That's what I got from that. I don't know about you guys.
What I gathered was they had an AC. There's like an AC unit going in the room, so they couldn't hear what was really being asked.
Well, it is just funny to me that like just turn the noise cancellation off on the Zoom call on your iPad, which is something you can do, but like it's, you know, whatever. What do I know? Also, maybe you could just get like lav mics for the players. They connect to the iPad. They're $70. I just like, you know, we're the bad tech guys. So like, I was
gonna say, like, I don't have room to talk, especially when it comes to lav mics. But I have some bad news. But as we wait for Schmetz, dude, I have some really bad news. News.
Oh no!
Because Reese was
soloing you.
Oh, okay. Reese was cooking me. He was cooking me. He was saying, Ari, why don't you go look at the underlying numbers? Why don't you go look at the underlying numbers? See how the squad did. See if that justifies the loss or anything. So I was like, you know what, Reese, you're right. I'm gonna look at the underlying numbers. Just to, you know, I wasn't even gonna bring him up. I was just gonna look to see what was going on. Anyway, guys, I regret to inform you that the Seattle Sounders generated 0.1 expected goals tonight.
Wah, 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 wah.
Which honestly, I think we
The
like
stats are beating their ass. The eye test is beating their ass.
regardless. Okay.
Coach, thanks for joining us. Straight to questions.
Sure.
Okay. Jeremiah, saw your hand first. Go ahead and lead us off, please.
Yeah, so obviously 5 straight losses. I'm sure you can say that there was some good defensive effort in this game, but offensively, it seems like you're not really able to generate much. I don't know what can you say about the offense? Do you feel like you're getting enough from your star players who you still just some you still have available?
Yeah, I mean, I can cut to the chase. I mean, look, what we discussed with the players afterwards is, look, we needed to, go back to being hard to beat. Our goal for this game was to keep a clean sheet. We were trying to do that, but you got, Tino and Stewie, God bless them, Kalani, their makeshift back line, one mistake, they get the goal. And okay, that's we didn't want to concede in the first half. Then getting to your question directly, if you look at the sequence, Paul Arriola had a good game, good performance. He came on, gave us a spark, gets in behind on the right-hand side. He elects to chip a ball into the back post, or it goes over Paul's head, the other Paul's head. But Osaze is there right in the middle of the goal, and if he just zips the ball across the face of the goal, maybe the defender kicks it in, Osaze is right there. We need to create a little bit more, intensity in front of the goalie. And so what I told Paul is I said, look, let's just whip a bunch of more balls in there and let Osaze or Masowski or who's ever in there fight for him. That's one. You go to Jesus, and look, I've seen this happen around the world. It's happened to me. You sub a guy on, and on his first touch, he's gonna show the coach that he should have started and be the hero. And it was a little tough. I mean, it's on his left foot, but those are the one moments that you might get in an away game in MLS that we need to just be a little more clinical. The sequence with Albert and Paul. I think they're the other Paul Rothrock. I mean, Albert on top of the box. Their team did a good job, closing that down. But again, I've seen Albert score from those spaces, top of the box. Paul Rothrock, leading scorer. So I can't complain about any of the guys' effort. Not Paul Arriola, not Jesus, not Albert tonight. Certainly not Paul Rothrock. I'm not complaining about their effort. But he's got a chance at the back post to dunk on a guy and head it in. I've seen Paul score that goal in training and in games. And then, finally, the last guy I would highlight for you is, look, Peter Kingston is chomping at the bit for more playing time. I mean, the kid came on and, sparked the team as well. But you've got a ball, and Osaze is onside, fair challenge. The ball drops to Peter Kingston, top of the box, and he dinks the ball. Had that gone in, it would have been a highlight reel. We were all, 1-1, happy to go home, start up something more positive. But you're right, Jeremiah. We just haven't been able to, be as dangerous as we should be on the attacking side of the ball.
All right, next.
And I guess, can I just follow up real fast?
Yeah. Yes, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess how do you push guys, when you don't have a lot of options, I guess, to make changes, but how do you go about applying pressure and sort of demanding better, especially offensive performances?
Well, look, Jeremiah, we have. I mean, I've changed kind of the way we selected players. That message is out there. I mean, the three-headed monster up front with Jordan, Osaze, and Danny. I mean, they're all talented players. One of them has to make that position their own. We've talked about that. Talking about Jesus and Albert and Paul, 3 experienced, good, dangerous, attacking, players. How do we unlock them? You know, Sonny, Snyder, the kid, Snyder had a better game today, but the other day he was a little, wasn't his best performance. We need a little bit more punch from those positions. And then, again, there's Kalani and Alex will come back, and, Peter's going to be in the mix on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, if Peppo comes back, there'll be pressure on Cole. I think that's coming. I think those decisions are coming. They're going to be harder for me when everybody's healthy. But, the message has been being sent. It's just, I got to find at some point, Jeremiah, look, to give those guys all in their credit, because, again, I think they worked hard. At some point, I might have to just, okay, this is the lineup, and I'm going to make those choices, and we're going to stick with it. And then, those decisions, and then it falls on me.
All right, Jada, we'll go to you next. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Thanks for the time, Brian. Do you, after the Portland match, you said that you had some tough conversations with Adrian. With this, with 2 more losses on top of that, do you feel that things, your position at all is in any kind of pearl this upcoming week here?
No. I mean, I hope I've garnered a little bit of a longer leash than some. Look, I understand the business, Jada. I'm not going to shy away from the question. I understand that we're in a results-based business. And so things continue to go well. That's certainly an option that Adrian has. I mean, we have conversations all the time about the team with Craig and Adrian, and we talk about it. We've never had a direct conversation about the security of my job. What we talk about as a collective is to try and get better and try and figure out a way how to get this group of players who started off the year really strong back into winning some games and collecting some points on the road.
May I ask, why do you feel you have or have earned a longer leash? Why do you feel that way? You said you have a longer leash.
Well, Jada, I don't need to, spout my record on the air for the record, but look, I've done a lot. I'm a company guy. I think I'm a pretty calm head. Look, I know there's a lot of people out there, and certainly your line of questioning is legitimate. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are unhappy. They're unhappy with the coaching. They're unhappy with the club, the direction of the club, no signings. I get all of that. But one of the best things that coaches can do is have an even keel and provide leadership in challenging moments. And so at some point, yes, I won't be the coach of the Seattle Sounders. When that is based on many factors. So my belief in myself and my coaching and my staff, I think we do a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Miles, we'll go to you next. Go ahead, please.
Brian, how do you apply pressure to players to be more goal dangerous, yet not put enough pressure so that they're not being creative? Because that's what you faced. You faced interim coaches, and your opponents are playing carefree. How do you do that as a balance as a coach?
Great question, Moss. Last couple of games since that loss in Portland, I've tried to take a little bit of the pressure off. Look, I think the response in Austin was pretty good. The response here tonight was pretty good. I'm not killing him. I can't kill Tito Lopez for letting the guy run behind him. Can't do that. But I can certainly challenge the senior players that need to be a little bit more goal dangerous. And so that messaging has been, sent through the locker room in different forms, in group settings, individual settings. And then again, we're trying to get all the details right as a coaching staff, going back to some of the basics, trying to simplify things for the players. So hopefully they can catch a break and we win a game here soon.
Without getting into your coach's room, I'll just ask a vague question. Have you thought about the possibility of having 2 strikers?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, and late in the game, I pushed Paul next to Bosky. You know, it's a little unconventional, but you know, have I thought about that? Sure. I mean, Jordan is de facto. You know, when Jordan and Moose play together, they're basically two forwards. We would play Jordan in the right, so everything's on the table, Moss.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to throw to Jonathan Tannenwald in the room with Matt Winter from the Philadelphia Inquirer. JT, go ahead. Just speak up for us for the Zoom feed.
Thank you, Alex. I'll do my best. It's funny, Brian, because for a lot of us in the rest of the country, look at the Sounders, one of those jobs that there's actual pressure in a way that maybe doesn't exist in other clubs in this league. It's not like.
Well, again, I mean, it's. I'm sure there's pressure with every head coach in every professional sport. Again, the pressure I feel comes more internally than externally. But there's been some challenging conversations. I mean, Adrian's not afraid to challenge me about saying, well, why did you do this? Or how come this result ended the way it was? It's not like he's been afraid, or Garth has challenged me in the past, and Craig will come down to the coach's room and say, hey, what are you guys thinking about? There is that inherent pressure, but look, I'm, again, confident in my abilities. The pressure comes from inside, trying to find the solutions to right.
The irony is that I was planning to ask you what was going to happen if you were stopped the ball this time. But,
I don't think they're going to call me if I lose 5 in a row. They're not going to call me. So
it's might be something who knows, everybody's waiting all around the country. What's your perspective on all that, whether you like the ball?
Well, I mean, look, let me try and figure out my mess first. Obviously, it would be a tremendous honor if they even thought about me or called me. I think that's pushing the cart way before the horse. Like, I'm a big USA fan. I think the energy that the U.S. brought, certainly it ended with a thud. But the energy, the enthusiasm of the World Cup, it still resonates. It still resonates in Seattle. All my friends are still talking about it. But it's way too early, I think, for me to start thinking about a different program.
All right. Thanks, JT. Appreciate it. We're going to keep rolling here on Zoom. Next question, we will go over to Felipe Makeda. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Alex. Coach Brian, how hard is for you to plan the games with your coaching staff when the team is going through these hard times? Is it that you are doing what you can with what you have, or you're doing what you should be doing with the players that you have?
Well, we were trying to come into this game, Felipe, with a little bit more pragmatism. That's a big word, a fancy word, but we were trying to just be a little bit more direct. Defend well, defend hard, defend strong, play in their half of the field. And, you know, it just didn't work in the first half as well as we, you know, could have, because they scored the goal in the 32nd minute. In the second half, we went back to trying to play how we like to play, and I think our possession was a little bit better, and we created some chances.
All right. Keep it rolling here. Callahan, if you have a question, still go ahead, please.
So obviously you've been a coach for a while. Are there other like losing streaks and bad spells that you look back on, sort of what you did during those times as guides for how to get out of this losing spell, or do you think each one is sort of different from a coaching perspective?
I always fall back to this. So you have to redouble your efforts to make sure all the details are taken care of. You have to, again, and everybody can see the solution. Everybody can see that we're not scoring enough goals. And the trick is to get out of the routine of saying, well, this is a problem, that's a problem, and focusing on what's the solution here, what can we do better here, what do the players need to do to feel confident. So you always have to try and find solutions in some of these moments. So we've gone back to the basics from the training staff, the equipment staff, everybody's trying to make sure that we're getting those minor things correct. and then again, trying to provide solution for the players as well as, holding everybody accountable.
All right, we'll take one or two more here. Noah,
This
go
meeting
ahead,
is
please.
being
Use the
recorded.
question.
Look, I thought, again, tonight's game, I thought Masani was better tonight than he was in Austin. I think Snyder was a little better tonight than he was in Austin. Look, it's a newer pairing, but they trained enough together. Certainly we miss Christian, certainly we miss Obed, but they're super talented players. Masani's an MLS veteran. Snyder is a good talent, needs a little bit of fine tuning, a little bit more experience, but I thought tonight they were okay. Well, extra depth or competition and, feeling that out again. I'll go back to what I said maybe a little bit earlier. Look, maybe when Christian comes back, I gotta make a decision and kind of stick with it, roll with it for 5-6 games, roll it out there. We'll see when Christian comes back.
All right, Jeremiah, do you have a follow-up still?
Yeah. When we last talked to you in Seattle, you were asked about players coming in. You sort of alluded to that now. You didn't seem like you had a lot of, you weren't demanding any sort of reinforcements. Do these 2 losses do any more to sort of light a fire under trying to make something happen?
You guys know me well enough. I don't demand from Adrian and Garth and Craig. I mean, they've been good bosses. They've provided me with good players throughout my career. We're certainly having conversations, Jeremiah. There are conversations going on about how to improve the squad. What are we doing? What are the options? What's plan A? What's plan B? What plan C is? Yeah, some of those conversations might be revved up a little bit. But again, I think myself, Adrian, and Craig, I think we've done this a long time, and we haven't hit the panic button yet. Might come, might not. But right now we're kind of thinking things through, because look, the worst thing we could do is go out and make a rash signing just for the sake of signing a player, and then that player doesn't work out. We have to be very specific in who we sign and make sure it's the right fit and the right talent.
Yeah, I guess, can you be though too careful about that? Because it seems like that's sort of the pattern that has grown over the last few years, is that you are waiting for sort of the perfect player, and you're not able to sign any player in the summer, at least.
Well, look, I will give you my opinion, but the way this has gone since 2016 when I first took over, I let down on Garth and Adrian and Craig. They've been the ones. I've stuck to the coaching. I certainly lend my opinion. I am German. I will give them my opinion. But those guys are the ones that have been kind of going and doing things. And yes, I will give you this little tidbit. I have, in the last couple of weeks, given them some little bit stronger opinion just about what's, wrong with the team, in my opinion, and how we go about it as a club. Look, Jeremiah, we're still successful. I understand everybody's, calling for more signings, and I, with one hand, I might say, yeah, we probably should. But on the other hand, again, if your resources are such, we're not going to go out right now in this window and replace 5 guys to a group that started off 7-3-3. We're just not going to do that.
All right, Jada, if you have your follow-up, you can ask it, and we'll have that be the last one.
Yes, I don't think you kind of addressed as far as Andrew, what was going on with, or what was his decision making, I guess, in getting, or in seeding that goal.
Andrew is as well, like the team is going through a little bit of a rough patch. The Leagues Cup, Steph's going to get those games, so maybe he can take a step back and kind of figure things out. On the goal, he was as culpable as the young kids in front of him. You got to let your defenders defend. You must let your defenders defend in that situation, or if you're off your line, you need to be high enough that you can clear the ball. So again, that's a learning curve for Andrew.
Coach, thanks for your time. Safe travels. We'll see you back in Seattle. Media, if you have any needs.
Well, there you have it from Brian Schmetzer. Noah, you want to?
Tony Dotson double pivot apparently.
Yeah, do you want to? Because we can't hear your question.
Yeah, I just asked him. I asked him with the context, like, I know that your double pivot is such a key part of the way that you construct your team, and missing out Christian Roldan, that's a big blow. How do you feel Sonny Dotson and Snyder Brunel have been working together? And then he gave his answer, and then I followed up with, do you need more support in that area? And if I would have gotten another follow-up, I would have said, what other pairings could you see in that place? But I got muted.
I mean, fair enough. You got your question and then your and then your follow-up. So you don't want to be dominating, I guess. But I think that's actually, unless you had other takeaways from the Schmetz presser, I think that's a good segue into what I wanted to talk about.
I did want to touch on quickly him calling Adrian broke.
He definitely didn't. He didn't know. Definitely, no. There is nothing was said that dispels the broke allegations. That's for damn sure. I will say that.
Right, I mean, the fact that he's going into their chambers and saying, "Sign someone." I mean,
he did say that. He said, "I'm making my
opinion." That in a very politically.
I made my opinion known more strongly, I think, is what he said. So I'd be, God, man, would have been nice to be a fly on the wall for
finances
for
are as such.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was when your resources are as such.
Yeah,
that's the best way to say broke that I've ever heard. That is unreal.
I'm bringing that one up on the next date night. I'm like, babe,
my finances are as such.
When your resources are as such.
Resources are as such is now in Lobbing Scorchers lexicon forever. Unfortunately, resources are such. When resources are such, you can only do so much when you're.
And that's why you should like the video, subscribe to the channel, and send us.
Our resources are as such.
Yeah, our resources send us some jewels
for sure as such.
Send us some jewels.
Did we ever find out what the jewels mean?
I don't know. Okay. I just like
send them. It has to be something good. It's not like you get nothing from jewels. I would be surprised. All right, this is what I wanted to talk about, Noah, because I think Schmetz's whole disposition, as we kind of joke about it, there was pretty interesting to me. He looked like a guy that was pretty much at the, we've been joking about being at the point of acceptance. That's kind of what it seems like where he's at to me, where he's pretty much the squad is deathly injured. I don't have the personnel to really get out of it. Basically, all I can do right now is steer the ship as best I can and try and keep it afloat. And maybe we can grind out some 1-0s or 1-1s or 0-0s in there. But really, until I get me Christian back, until I get me Yamar back, until I get me De La Vega back, until I get Alex Roldan back, we might be just in a tough way. And we'll see if I can make it out of it. We'll see if the team can make it out of it. But there's no. It looked like to me he's like, there's no point in me getting up here and giving a tongue lashing and calling guys out and saying this isn't good enough and all this, that, and the other. He basically looked like past that. But so this is what I want to say about that, though, because my sort of what I come out of this 5-game losing streak, Noah, thinking of is, there's a lot of reasons I think we ended up where we're at right now. And I think probably in the building and in the front office and stuff, they're probably blaming injuries over everything. And I think you could look at the injuries, and the injuries matter, but they don't explain this. They don't explain everything. And it's not that we can't be hand waving that, but I think we can start with that because it is fair to point out. All right. It is fair to point out. And I'm just going to say it in the interest of fairness. missing Christian Roldan, missing Yamar, missing Pedro de la Vega, missing Alex Roldan, missing all these guys is significant. That's in that list I just named, which isn't even everybody. That's your best leader, your engine of your entire team, the heart and soul of your team. That is your best defender, another guy who provides a lot of captaincy and leadership, even if he's not wearing the armband. That is a team captain, as far as I'm concerned, in Yamar, and your most dynamic attacker, as we all know, in Pedro de la Vega. So
Allegedly,
it is fair to say that most teams would struggle missing a trio like that, especially in Major League Soccer with these roster rules that we all know and love. But the reason that is not something that you can hang your hat on and hand wave away on that basis and just say, oh, well, once we get healthy, it's going to be all better and it's fine and it's whatever, is that this organization has spent years building a reputation for surviving exactly situations like this as recently as last year. And you and I on our show, we've praised them countless times for keeping their level despite international duty, despite CONCACAF Champions League congestion and key absences. That's been one of the hallmarks of the Brian Schmetzer era. So I think injuries in this scenario, they explain why Seattle's not at their best right now. I can live with that. I can understand that. If you're going to not be missing all these guys, not be at your tip top 2025 Leagues Cup level, that's one thing, but they don't explain why they've become. This is one of the worst teams in the league over the last month or month plus. Probably the worst team in the league. They're probably the only team that's 0-5-0. So that runs counter to the Sounders' identity. That's the issue. That's why this feels so jarring. Seattle's not supposed to be a team that just craters when your starters get hurt. Next man up has been always more than lip service around here. Okay, and now you're in a situation where you got 5 straight losses, performances that don't resemble the team that we expect. The consistency and the competitiveness and the baseline level have pretty much, I don't want to say disappeared, but they're not anywhere near the standard of this club. So it's not just about the results. It's about, to me, it's like, feels like the erosion of a defining characteristic of the Schmetzer era. I don't know if that's dramatic, but like when you get 5-1 by your rival and you're putting up these toothless attacking performances and not taking road results like you usually do, this team has always kind of prided themselves on being injury, I won't say injury proof, but injury resistant. And right now they're just anything but that. So that's kind of when I see Schmetz and the players kind of being like, oh, we're injured, we're trying to grind through it. Like, you know, we had better chances. It's like, I just don't think that really, I don't think it really means anything.
No, I feel like the Sounders have been playing Russian roulette for the last 5 years, and there's 6 spaces in the chamber. The next time you pull the trigger, you're dead. Like they have gambled themselves to the point in which you are no longer able to withstand the things that you were once able to withstand. Again, I think that it's great that they've been doing business and moving people and loaning people. That was something that Craig Weibel said that he wanted to do last year. The problem is now we don't have anyone to back up the starters. And you're saying, oh, well, you know, they're injured and like when they get back, they'll be fine. No, they won't. Jordan Morris is 32. What is he? 32, 34?
Well, okay, but so I'll just to devil's advocate.
Let me
okay, no,
finish
sorry.
my analogy here. Like,
yeah, keep cooking. Sorry.
It's not you've got Yamar, a core centerpiece that when he's not playing, it's genuinely a problem for your back line. How many more years does he have? You're looking at your midfield here in Christian Roldan. That was a good spill.
Sorry.
You're looking at your midfield in Christian Roldan, who I think is incredible. I think still has more years, but you are looking at him getting older. He is going to age out of that position, and he is more injury prone now that he's older. Every time he gets hurt, he's less elastic, and that's just the truth. What happens when your entire team cannot function with him? That is a problem. And then you look to the number 9 position where you have Jordan Morris, and it's like, brother, I could have told you this was a long time coming. We've been talking about the number 9 position. Craig Weibel has been talking about the number 9 position for a very long time. Osaze de Rosario, I like him, but I don't think he's it. Danny Musovski, I like him, but I don't think he's it. Then you look at where the rest of the team is, and your depth just isn't there. You have Jesus Ferreira, who's not playing bad, but you also have Albert Rusnak. You have to make a decision on his contract. To reload this team is going to be a feat of God when you refuse to pay a transfer fee and refuse to spend any of that tam gam bam that you have in your holster. And additionally, even if you do have that gam and that tam, Ari, how many players in Major League Soccer are you actually going to be able to spend that on to fix the roster that you have? I don't think there are enough players in the league that will be willing to be dealt to the Sounders to fix the problems that they have. This isn't a 1 signing fix. This isn't a 2 signing fix. This is a 3 or 4 signing fix, with additionally signing more young players and figuring out how you're going to replace Albert Rusnak, how you're going to replace Jordan Morris, and you have to make a decision on Pedro de la Vega. That in itself, that whole decision is a nightmare. The Sounders have played Russian roulette. They have won enough times to where there is 1 click left and you're blowing your head off.
Yeah, no, it's a fire analogy, honestly, because it does feel like what they got away with last year is now catching up to them, like all at once is what it feels like.
We're doing an LA Galaxy. We've done an LA Galaxy.
That is kind of what it feels like. I mean, so as to the question of what you were getting at the beginning of the analogy on like if things will improve with when they get healthier, the only thing I'll say is that I would be surprised if, like, let's just assume that they get Christian and Yeimar back at relative health and at relative, like, what their usual performances are. I would be surprised if that doesn't improve the situation. I think that this team without Christian in midfield has looked like a mess for this whole time that they haven't had him. And I think the Yeimar injury has loomed a lot larger than we might have thought. Although I think the CB pairing with the average age of 19.7 actually played decently well tonight, all things considered. I think the defense did its job tonight. If you concede 1 goal on a cross-country road trip, and then basically you hold them below 1 XG as a unit, like it's not like the Union really had any, like, it's not like they were pummeling Andy T the entire game.
Yes, but it's also the Union.
Well, yeah, exactly.
We have to quantify what we're saying here. It's like, yes, you're gonna get better towards the end of the season. I guarantee you they make the playoffs. They're not winning Leagues Cup. I will put all of my money in the entire world on that. They're not gonna win MLS Cup in the form that they're in now with no new signings. I'll tell you that much. Maybe they can get something moving if they decide to get this rumored signing done. Have you heard there's this Argentine winger that they're potentially going to sign, Ari? I don't know if you've heard about this. I think his last name is like De La Vega or something.
Yeah, that's going to be the new signing. They're also getting a new right back who I think is related to Christian somehow. I'm not sure how, but like,
I think
that's going to be an infusion and a starting Colombian center back.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
but like but my point was that, like,
but you raise the bar now. You don't raise the bar in the next 3 years. That's what I'm saying. You can play fine through the rest of this season, but it's going to come down to figuring out how you reload this team. Maybe it's not this offseason. Maybe it's not next offseason. But you're telling me 3 years down the line, the core of this team is going to be here? I don't think so.
Well, no, and I think the writing had been on the wall, especially with the DP situation, but with like a lot of the older veterans on this team anyway. I think regardless of how this season went, those are decisions that were going to have to get made anyway. Even if they were playing well right now, the writing would be on the wall in a lot of these cases. But like, I do think, like, my point is that even if getting those guys back improves the situation for the short term, that does not hand wave how badly this went off the rails without those guys. Even if they stabilize it, which I expect them to, I would be surprised. I would be surprised if when Christian rolled on and Yeimar comes back, I won't even bring up De La Vega because I know that triggers you, but I would be surprised if when Christian rolled on and Yeimar get back, it doesn't stabilize and improve the situation. And this team looks a lot better offensively because I think Christian actually affects that side of the ball much more than we even realized. But also defensively too, even with the... Well, that's the question. And also, like, as it pertains to De La Vega, I'll say this as the guy who is more open to him being helpful than other people. Even if he comes back and looks like the Leagues Cup version of De La Vega, stays healthy and carries this team to a lot better results, maybe they make a little playoff run with him acting as a centerpiece and he makes it through and it's all good. Even if he does that, you like absolutely cannot go into next season putting all your cards, like all your eggs in that basket. And they might, but depending on how the rest of the season goes,
is absolutely going to hit like a goddamn freight train for the Seattle Sounders.
Because even if
we're gonna give him a chance,
even if he makes it through the rest of this season, there's just no way to confidently say that he can lead you through an entire regular season plus all the tournaments you're going to play. The sprint season, I guess, changes it a little bit, but like you can't.
You're going to give him a 4-year contract.
You can't rely on him as heavily as this roster relies on him. So that means that all those changes are coming. I think they would have been coming anyway. I think the main thing that I find like most galling about this stretch is just how far it went off the rails, which is like, again, like this is this is not only the worst stretch in club history, but it's like they look like the worst team in the league right now.
No, this is the worst stretch in club history. Siggy got fired, and listen, that team was not good by any means.
This team at least has results that they accrued beforehand, whereas that team didn't. That is a key distinction.
Right.
But yeah.
That is, but also they lost a big game to Portland and then lost at Sporting. I mean, it's effectively the same. I would give it the same amount of weight as this 5 stretch of losses that we've taken. And I get it. You're injury prone. Your roster is the problem. That's why we're sitting here. I'm not sitting here saying it's Brian Schmetzer's fault. I think if they fire Brian Schmetzer, we get 5 years of the worst Seattle Sounders soccer you've ever seen in your life. And it's going to be an absolute struggle to ever figure out how to get this team back. And additionally, I don't think Adrian would even be able to sell the club because they would be that bad. So I think retaining Brian Schmetzer is paramount to this, but that's a whole side thing to say. They have been burning the candle on both ends. You're selling every single one of your young talents that actually have MLS minutes that could slot in when there are injuries. And on the other end, you're letting your DPs get older and older and older and older and older and refusing to bring in new talent. I mean, I'm shocked. I'm shocked, and this is exactly what happens when you do this. And listen, you get by for a while, but now we're losing on the road at fucking Philly, giving them their first home win. They've had 2 home wins in 2 years. 2 home wins in 2 years.
They're bad. Yeah, they're bad. They're bad.
It's us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's man, I had a really good point that I was going to cook on, but I forgot what it was. Damn it. It was going to be so good too.
It was going to be so good.
Yeah, I guess I'll summarize where I'm at right now by saying, you know, for me, the concern is not just simply the 5-match losing streak. Obviously, that's bad enough. We all know that, but it's that for the first time in a long time, they've stopped looking like the Sounders for years.
Yeah.
For years, this was, and, you know, there have been, you know, lulls in form and dark times before, and they've taken bad results. But for years, it's just been a club that we know as having an identity built on just resilience and consistency and finding solutions when adversity hit. And I think they've stayed true to that identity through a lot, including as recently as last year. You know, I saw one comment in chat earlier that was like, this is the roster that you guys backed, and you were saying this, and this to people who didn't back the roster. How do you feel now? I feel like we were saying that at a time last year when they were exemplifying all the qualities that I just talked about in spades. They had an injury crisis that was maybe not this bad, but almost as bad last year. And what did they do? They were resilient. They were consistent. They found solutions in the face of adversity, in the face of all those injuries. They did what we expect a Seattle team to do, which is fight through it, be resilient, and compete for trophies anyway, take results anyway. And that's exactly what they did last year. You know, you can say what you want, but they finished top 5 in the West and then ripped through Leagues Cup like no one's business. They were by far and away the best team in that tournament out of 36 teams. So I think everything we said last year applied at the time, but unfortunately, it has now all blown up all at once this year and laid bare problems that we can all see. But those qualities that I've talked about, they're not there right now, and the injuries are real, and they'll help explain this stretch when we look back on it. But if the Sounders are going to turn this season around, the answer can't just be waiting for healthier days. They have to get back to the identity that made them one of MLS's most reliable teams in the first place. So,
and to defend our own position, we also were sitting there saying they need to make signings. They need to make moves. This is an aging core. We've been talking about this for a long time. We've also been saying, listen, Albert Rusnak is serviceable right now. Do you want to sign someone and kick him off the boat when he's performing well? Or do you want to take a gamble knowing that the front office will make one gamble? And if it doesn't pay off, that's who's playing. Okay, right? Now, is Albert Rusnak playing well? I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say he's had a good season at all.
Brigade is cooking. Brigade is cooking.
That said, great, awesome. Let's make a change now.
DPs age out sometimes.
Like, you have nothing to lose now. I don't know. I think it's a lack of planning, and I think we did talk about it, but I think it's also easy to be like, we can take some blame, but like, I mean, I don't really think that it's been an unfair thing. And also, like, the beautiful thing about us is that if we're wrong, we're wrong. I don't give a fuck. I was wrong. I thought Rusnak would be good this year.
I sit behind this microphone and I just fire off all my takes and I let the chips fall where they may. A lot of them are going to be wrong, and a lot of them have been wrong. So I got no bones about that. But I don't think we need to mea culpa as much as people are saying. But that's just me. Maybe people
whatever.
Just
anyway, to defend myself.
Should we drop the call link in?
Yep,
and just
dropping it in.
All right,
dropping it in.
Call into the stream. There it is, right there. Do your worst. I've been loving
to like the video. We're only at 83 likes. If we can get to 100 likes, Ari said that he will eat on stream again.
Yes, we got Gianni leading it off. Yes, let's go. Gianni's here, but okay, and then we got Blake. All right, we're filling up. Let's get these calls rolling. I'm gonna bring Gianni on stage right now. There he is. Gianni, what's up, man? The Seattle Sounders, they are spiraling. That's 5 losses in a row. This time to the Philly Union, who are the worst team in the league going into the game. It's not good. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
I mean, not good is being nice. Like, this is fucking dog shit. I don't know what else you want me to say, man. Like, this is fucking brutal. 5 losses on the trot. Like, that's bad. Fucking walking wounded out there. Just straight up defiance is our back line. Midfield just getting run through.
Hey, Gal played well.
Defiance back line was not that bad. It was really not that bad.
You know what? Defiance almost beat Portland. This team didn't.
Yeah. Put more Defiance guys.
He's cooking. Gianni.
I still consider Pete Kingston a Defiance guy too. So like the Defiance guys were the ones who have actually been kind of bringing.
Sebastian Gomez played well too.
I thought Sebastian Gomez played well, and I thought despite what happened on the goal, Stu Hawks looks like an MLS CB to me. Like I don't think that was. I think he does. He's kind of fun. He's fun to watch. Like he hits good dimes, and then his slide tackling was good. I don't know.
Yeah, that goal was like a series of just bad kind of mistakes. Like, it was a bunch of kind of like nothing mistakes that added up to like a tragic error. So Paul Rothrock on the initial cross in is slow to actually step to the guy, gives him a window to actually hit that cross in.
Yeah.
Like, that was just kind of shadow defending. Guy gets the ball, center back doesn't do enough to actually put him off, the forward to put him off. And Andrew Thomas runs out to try and collect the ball because I think he thinks that the center back is going to body the forward, which would give him the opportunity to make a play on the ball. None of these things happen.
Well, Gianni, give us your takes right now. We are going to try and rip through this queue, so I want to give you the floor. I just want to hand you the mic. Okay, here.
Oh fuck! This series, I think, actually might have put the nail in the coffin. I don't think I'm renewing next year.
Wow,
that might be the end of my season ticket. Like, I've been a season ticket holder for over a decade. I get that this team is injured. I get that there is, like, we've been playing poorly. Too many times I look at the field while we have a defender with the ball. We have fucking 7 dudes ahead of him walking around. No one's making a run. There is no movement on our field. We are static. We can't make simple passes. We aren't going to do a damn thing to sign a player, apparently, because it's a summer window. We're fucking allergic to those. We don't need sun. Get like SPF 1000 on our skin. Get us the fuck out of here. Like, I don't really know what to do with this team anymore. We do not have a starting forward who scored a goal. We're over halfway through the fucking season. I just don't know what you want from me. Like, okay, so we've got 2 DPs who have played combined less than half the games over the last 2 years.
They don't really play.
No.
Are they DPs? Should we buy them out? Oh no, we don't want to pay. We don't want
resources are not such.
Not to play. Oh, I'm sorry. We're already fucking doing that. Like, that was the excuse for not buying out Raul, was we don't want to pay a guy not to play for us. Well, fuck, we're doing that with 2 players now.
I mean, you did that for Raul anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like, he sat on the bench. It's like, he's not gonna, I'm sorry, we can't give him the money to not play for us. I'm like, okay, cool, we're gonna sit him on the bench. That's a couple $1 million fucking wasted. We have 0 abilities to succession plan. We decided, hey, you know what, Chris Henderson, we can't promote you. So you're gonna go to Miami. Oh shit. There was actually a position that opened up immediately after he left because Garth decided, hey, I want to move up a little bit. Okay, Garth goes over to Atlanta. If we had any forethought that we were not going to be able to re-sign Garth, you just say, Chris Henderson, here's a contract. When Garth leaves, you step up to that position. We cannot succession plan to save our fucking lives. We can't see more than 1 year or 2 years ahead of us. And it's insane because we end up in this position that I think we all could see coming. There was a light at the end of the tunnel. It wasn't the fucking exit. It was a goddamn train. Like, I've been saying this for fucking years. And every single time I say something about it, I'm like, oh, you know, they'll figure it out. Oh, you know, these slow starts, they'll get better. Except we have a hot start, and then all of a sudden the team falls off a fucking cliff. Why? Because guess what we are now? We're a pressing team. What happens to pressing teams as they go throughout the year? Pressing teams get worse because there's so many games, you can't put that many miles on your legs.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're not Simeone. You don't have a $700 million roster with players down. You don't get to have Obed Vargas on the bench.
Well, here's the other thing. If you're going to go out and get rid of all these useful players, you have to replace them. You can go 3 for 2. If you trade out 3 players, you have to get a combination of 2 players that can actually fill up that roster spot. Because if you're not doing that, if you're going to go 3 for 4, that means you're actually replacing better players with worse players, which is what we've done. You can't do that. And this idea that, oh, we can sell players, we'll bring up these Defiance players, only works as long as you have enough Defiance players. We've pillaged that team to the point we're scraping the barrel.
Well, Defiance are making more signings than the Sounders this summer, so that is tight.
Yeah,
we just become a Defiance pod. Defiance pod.
Yeah, we should.
Because he tore up the league and then he won't get a single minute, and we'll loan him to someone and get I don't know, like an international spot for it. And then we'll take that international spot and we'll turn it into $250,000 with the game instead of 300 like everyone else got.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, that's just some fucking galaxy brain shit that we're doing.
Yeah.
So much GAM though. So much GAM.
So much GAM. Gianni.
So much GAM. And yet, as long as you have GAM, oh shit, that's right. You can't apply that to international transfers because we're the only ones who fucking use GAM. And since GAM is a closed economic circuit, there's an inflation rate on it like you wouldn't fucking believe. every single year. So every year that we actually put off the GAM that we get from a trade, it becomes less useful. So, we're getting a
Gianni, bro,
bunch
you
of,
should write a GAM inflation article for us.
no.
Tap in. I'm gonna DM you after this.
I mean, like,
Gamflation.
Gamflation's real. Like, GAM is only so useful, and GAM a year or two down the road is just incredibly less useful than GAM in the moment. And we are trading away players for future GAM, which means we're actually getting way less value than we think we are.
Yeah. Well, Gianni, you did just get one vote to become GM by Eric here. So I think you should hop off this call and start preparing your resume. You give it to us, and I'll slip it under Adrian's door next time I'm at Long Acres for you.
Oh yeah, I got words for him too. They're not good. None of them should go over air.
Yeah, Gianni, thank you so much for calling in. Sorry, we're
Great
cutting it a
stuff,
little short
Gianni.
here. We're gonna keep it pushing, but we appreciate you, boss.
Thanks, guys. Keep it rocking.
Bye. Blake, we see you in the queue. Before we get to you, we're gonna give us 1 second. We're just gonna read the super chats because we missed a lot of them.
We've got some.
$5 from Demon Hunter Mag. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. We are in hell. Guys, hell is real. Hell is real. Derby is just the Seattle Sounders versus signing somebody. It's a way better, more interesting derby than Columbus Crew versus Cincinnati. Jake says, I really feel like Schmetzer should have started Fry. We need new leadership on the pitch really bad right now. No offense, Nuhu. We talked about this last episode. Why the fuck does Nuhu have the captain's armband? No disrespect, Nuhu, but why does Paul Rothrock not have that armband?
I don't really care who has the armband right now. And, I thought it was, I guess, fine that they sent Nuhu out for the hostage video because he did have the armband and he's a senior player on the team or whatever. But as for the idea of like starting Fry, I don't know. We can talk about that, but I do feel like something of the many things that's going on right now is you have young guys who Andrew Thomas isn't exactly a young guy, but he's new to starting. But like, there's an element of like when you have guys out there like Andrew Thomas, who's in his first year as a starter, and I think Snyder Brunell is going through this right now as well. There's going to be like, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to do stuff where you're like, damn, like that's a more senior player might not have done that, but you live with it because it's like growing pains and they'll be better for it the next time. So I think Snyder is going through one of those spots right now, but that's where I'm like, man, maybe change the double pivot up a little bit. Like he's struggling. Like he looks like he's suffering out there sometimes.
He is fighting for his life, to be quite honest.
He's fighting for his life out there every game. Anyway.
And it's making him look bad. I had someone tell me today that Kavan is better than Snyder, and I was like, bro, shut up. Just because Snyder is literally trying to do everything and not able to do anything, it doesn't mean he's better than I don't even I'm gonna say something that I'm gonna regret. The weak-minded Kavan Sullivan, who, by the way, Stu Hawkins fucking owns you. Stu Hawkins, that was not a foul.
That was highlight of the game. Highlight of the game. I forgot about that.
I'm gonna have to go back and clip that, so we'll post that. But
that was Stu Hawks stock to the moon for that. That was incredible.
Dude, Stu Hawks, yeah.
Just how pissed Kevin got after that.
Oh my god.
Honestly, thank you, Stu Hawks, for somebody just hitting somebody. I don't
exactly. Start Stu Hawks. Timbo says this offense is trash pandas at this point. Shout out Jimothy. And Nat, 10-month member. I wonder where Hanauer is right now. He's probably
watching. He's watching the stream.
He's literally on his yacht right now, counting singles, smoking a loose cigarette that
he's counting his game. He's counting his game.
He's counting his game, smoking a loose cigarette. This one wasn't a donation, but I just thought it was funny. Brian Cross, inshallah, Smetzer is back. That was from the press conference when he was like blasting balls in the box. $4.99 from Loss 3495. Kingston and Rothrock drink from the same high work rate well. Wish it would have turned into a goal. I completely agree.
If Pete Kingston isn't starting in Portland, Lobbing Scorchers is rioting.
Yeah, we'll be in Portland rioting. Rhino Official 32 says, I feel bad for Brian. He can only work with what he's got, which is nothing. Might as well play the injured players in Portland. Can't be any worse.
Man, you guys are down bad right now, but I get it.
Yeah. Thank you for the jewels, both of you. And oh my God. Sounders EBFG. I think Brian put in that double pivot as a response to Adrian being broken, not selling. He's not being heard. IMO. You guys said it. Acceptance. You know what? That's the most like galaxy brain take I've ever heard, but I'm gonna get on board with it. Whatever.
Schmetz has achieved nirvana. Tonight's presser confirmed it. He was just like,
well, we'll assess when
what
What
even is a win or a loss? Like if you really think about it,
If you
winning
boil it
and
down.
losing, it's just a social construct within our minds. It's all how you perceive it, man. The way I perceive it, Seattle beat the Philadelphia Union tonight.
It's all about the means in which you possess, and the means in which we possess are none. And so therefore, I flow like water. I am nothing and everything. Shout out Brian Schmetzer. And my own mother dropping a 20 bomb. Thanks, Mom. My mom just bought me dinner. This is literally a gift to bury your sadness in Taco Bell minus the lettuce. I'm eating the lettuce because honestly, you know what's more enjoyable than watching the Seattle Sounders? Getting the Taco Bell shit virus. I gotta be honest. Way better.
Hey, the Timbies have been bammed on there. I'm not saying to celebrate it because last time I did that, they just immediately counter bammed, but they did get bammed on by Real Salt Lake at home.
Yeah. All right, Blake, I see you now. We'll bring you in if you're ready. Sick. Yo, how are we?
How's it going?
I like that.
You're in Philly. You're in Philly. How was it?
Yeah, you're in Philly. Yeah.
Philly, I got there. We drove a long way from New York. My brother's driving right now. Shouts to Tyler. I got there. The place smelled. The people smelled. I was like, why are they blowing fake snow over all the place?
Yo,
they were doing like a July and Christmas. And I'm like, what the hell is this fucking place, Chester, New Jersey, or fucking Pennsylvania? And I'm like, this is not a good place. And on the broadcast, you see over the river by the bridge. I'm like, oh, Subaru Park, what a beautiful place. And then you get there, and it's a fucking shithole. And I'm like, oh my God. And my
Did you
brother's
have
like,
the sign? Did you have the sign?
sign.
Chat's asking.
Oh yeah, no, I had Craig out, and I made one for my brother too. It said Weibel, sell, and Hanauer sell.
Do you have photos?
Oh, we have photos. I think my brother sent you them on Instagram.
Okay, I'm gonna look right now. So
I don't think they put us on TV, but yeah, we held them up at several times during the game. The ECS folks there were kind. Folks from all over the East Coast, actually, like Miami, New York, Atlanta. But, it was a good crowd there. But, that game fucking sucked, bro. Spent like $100, 4 beers, and a fucking shitty-ass pizza. And, to get down to it, I would second everything you guys said. We're burning the wick at both ends. We sold our young talent. It's what I said last week. And now we're trying to play with these injuries when for years we've been developing this youth program so that in the case that that our first team gets some injuries, our team wouldn't completely fall apart. We would have this depth. However, they sold everybody, and this is a management decision. This is an ownership decision. And I'm just pissed that we are in the position that we are.
Oh no, the Philly
leading up
Wi-Fi
to
got
all
him.
the calls in.
He's back. You're back.
Am I back?
You're back.
I would say all of your discussion, everything you said, this whole broadcast, I totally agree with. Burning the wick at both ends. We're trying to play through injuries. It worked last year, but when you sell all of our young talent, get rid of our depth, it's just not working. And so, what Brian Schmetzer said, it's like, oh, I don't want to make the wrong decision in purchasing a player. You had so many years to make that decision. And here we are. You can't just sit on your hands and expect the perfect player to fall into our lap. And it's just, the indecision is biting our butts now. So we're just watching it in real time. And, we started the season pretty decently, but for whatever reason, over the World Cup break, you would think we would have the time to prepare to do better for the second half. But we're not. So, I would second everything all you guys are saying. Just be glad you guys weren't at Philly. I had fun with my brother. It's just good time. But, another away game off the checklist. But yeah, man. Fucking the Delaware River is fucking smelly. Like, it's a sad ass stadium, bro.
I was
Don't.
informed that they literally play next to a garbage incinerator.
I would not doubt that. I don't even know. We just got off the bridge and we were there, and I'm like, what the fuck is this place? Pardon my French.
Blake, thank you
Yeah.
so much, man.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. Colin on the road. We're going back to New York, so appreciate you
Get home
guys.
safe, and we appreciate you too, Blake, and love the photo. We will talk to you
Yep.
soon, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks
Catch you
for tapping
later.
in, Blake. Take care.
Yes. All right. Did everyone see the photo? Did everyone get a good look?
Yeah. We saw it. We saw it.
We can pop it up one more time. It's pretty great.
Fire.
There's a good collection here, a good collection of people hanging and chilling in the Craig out. I like the pointing too, the finger point. It's pretty fun. William, I see you. You ready? Yeah. Welcome to the
Hey.
stream, William. How we doing?
About as good as we can be doing, I think.
Yeah.
Like, we were going in expecting a loss, and the goal that happened was an expected goal to happen, but it still hurts to see.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I think it was like either a lack of confidence or just like a hesitation to do what they should have done in like the center backs or Andrew Thomas, and it's just a mistake that they'll make once or twice and then hopefully not make again. But after so many of those in a row, it's just rough.
It's a goalkeeper error for me, but it also, like, I think focusing super a lot on the goal that they conceded is almost like not the point to me. It's more like, because again, like I said, like I feel like the defense did its job. Yes, they got bammed on one time in a cross country road game with 19-year-old center backs. You should ideally, as the stats guy, you should ideally be able to generate more than 0.1 XG to pick your defense with two 19-year-old starting center backs up and make it so one bad concession doesn't chalk the entire game and the entire result.
Yeah. The offense just has no drive right now. It's like a few players will have moments, or Paul or Kingston will just be driving, but not everyone else is really sluggish or just passing back. It feels like we either overshoot like overballs too, or they're offsides when those happen too. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, that was a problem. That's been a problem. That was the Georgie special.
I miss Georgie.
Playing that highline. Yeah, give us your Georgie. That you miss George. So here's
fun.
I was
This
gonna
is
add, or yeah, you go for it. No,
This is just an aside, like, I guess, but it's a part of it, because we are talking about all of the players in which the Seattle Sounders have generously offloaded to all of their neighbors. Georgie hasn't looked incredible on the team that he's on. He's
they
definitely
could have
not
used him tonight. They could have used
No,
him tonight.
that's what I was gonna say. Is that even so, the depth in what he brings off the bench,
RBW, they could use RBW right now. They could use Danny Leva right now. I was going to pose the question to you guys, like, do you think that if this team still had Georgie Manungu, Reed Baker Whiting, Danny Leva, who else did they just move off of? I'm missing one. But like, if they had all those guys, would those improve the situation? And I was expecting to think, no, not really. But as I went through it, I was like, I think it would have.
Yeah. I think if you
they're
had one,
so bad, absolutely. Like,
yeah, if you bring them all back, it's doing so much better. And I think maybe by moving them out, it could have been like a man management problem, like just
Cody Baker. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
That just like hopes went down, or just people weren't feeling the same in the clubhouse anymore? Because it doesn't feel like I think we have good players. They're just not playing well right now.
It is that interesting fickle locker room thing that me and Ari always talk about like moving people out too much or moving people in too much really does cause a shakeup and a change in the locker room. And yeah, your core guys now are Hassani Dotson and Jesus Ferreira. And
I really like Jesus as a 10. I don't love him as the right winger.
Yeah. Put him at the 10.
Put him
take
at
out
the
Alvaro
10.
Smack.
I think put KKR right wing and Kingston right back.
Yeah.
Or the other way. Or the other way. It doesn't matter.
Oh.
But yeah.
Okay. I like
That's
that.
good. Yeah. Looks like Cody Baker did get minutes today too. So shout out Cody.
Yeah, they're going to play him. They're going to play him.
Yeah. Well, William, do you have any other thoughts on the match?
Not on the match. The one thought I had is we saw Holland liked his woodland creature, so maybe if we entice him with Jimothy, we can get him on a loan for the rest of the season or something.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? Can we get like a 5-game loan? Like pay him like 10 million just to come play like 5 matches. Do the James Rodriguez bit where he just comes here to do preseason and then he can go back to wherever he wants. Like, why don't we do that? We should just do that.
That'd be insane. I mean, he liked America. Throw it out there, yeah.
Yeah, he likes raccoons.
Yeah, we got raccoons. We got beavers out here. You can go to Gold Garden, see the beaver there. We got otters. Yeah.
We're very
Orcas.
Nordic. You know, he could live in Ballard.
He'd love living in Ballard, right?
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's a good take.
Oh, imagine him coming on the float for that. I can't remember the day, but the celebration in Ballard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, any final thoughts there, William, before we move on to James here?
At least the rain beat Portland, but it's just looking rough on the Sounder side.
It is tough, but we will be back against Portland next.
On
so
the first.
hopefully bounce back. Bounce back.
I was
back
in
in
Portland for the
Portland.
women's game.
God,
The women lost in Portland 0-2, and there was 2 red cards on the Thorns in like the 7th or 8th minute in the 56th, and it was the worst game, I think, in NWSL maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, shout out to the rain. Shout out. Well, William, thank you so much for calling in. We'll
See you
tap back
guys.
in
Thanks,
with you
William.
next game. James, are you ready?
Let's
Sorry,
get
we're
him in
playing through
here.
these
Let's
guys.
get him in
Yeah.
here.
All right, I'm putting the mic down. Just cook. I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna get a drink. You
Hopefully,
just,
hopefully, because last time his tech made it so we couldn't talk. So, I think, how's it going, James? 5th straight L. This time at the Philly Union. What are you chewing on right now?
Well, so first I just want to say prayers up for Jermaine Berterame. He seemed to have suffered a nasty head injury, so let's hope he's okay. Point 2, Noah's mom is pretty dang funny. And then what I want to say about the game is that I think this is going to be spun as not that bad of a loss because we didn't give up 3, let alone 5 goals. But I think this is worse than it looks. I think it's worse than it looks because you look at the absences list, it's almost, I mean, the big damage is on the defensive end. You know, we're on our 2nd choice right back. We're on our 4th, 5th, and 6th choice center backs. I mean, maybe more depending on where you put Alex in there. But in terms of the offense, you've got the $830,000 midfielder that Weibel just signed, nice paid player on the team. You've got a guy making Ariola making $1.2 million. You've got our highest scorer. You got Dero, who just got a new contract. And then on the bench, you've got a $2 million max TAM player and a $700,000 striker who Weibel also just gave a new contract. And so if you looked at that and you said, all right, defense is ravaged, but we've got a lot of our high paid guys on offense left. And if you lost 4-3, if you lost 3-2, that would be fine. Philly's a bad team. You should be able to get some goals, and you might give up some on the other end. That's kind of what's expected. So to get blanked 1-0, where the defense actually has a fairly creditable job, and the offense is just nothing, I think that's a really bad result. It's worse than 1-0 would suggest to you, particularly given that Philadelphia have been a really bad team this year.
Yeah, because it's not like you can say, "Oh, well, the 19-year-old center backs were in, so what do you expect?" They did well. They actually held them
they
to one
played
goal.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Everyone, and this goes to your point that
for sure.
the point that Ari made earlier is that the guys who played well were the fucking Defiance guys. Like they were out there,
Yeah.
fighting their asses off, and it does seem like the core of this team is like, guys, we're injured. Like it's MLS. Like we can coast into the playoffs. Like it almost feels like maybe this is a little bit of a conspiracy, but it almost feels like the message is, well, guys, we're injured, and
don't these pressers kind of feel like that?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, we just need to get incrementally better. We need to try a little bit harder every game and get better. And the veterans are like, yeah, that happens. Tough stretches happen. Like my career will go on. I have my contract. And then you have the likes of Stu Hawkins, who's fighting for his life out there, who they refuse to play. So the fact that he's playing is simply because there's no one else to play in that position. You have Gomez out there. Why am I blanking on his first name? Sebastian Gomez out there, who hasn't seen the field at all, but then looks like he has that fire. He has that fire. The only player that I would even say that has the fire is Paul Rothrock. But the problem is he feels so much pressure. Today was not a good game for him. He was trying to do everything and doing nothing at the same time. And that's a really challenging place to be in. So you have these two camps of like the guys who are fighting for their lives because this is their breakout moment. And you have the guys who it's like, we're injured. Who cares? We'll keep it pushing. It's just this weird dynamic.
Yeah, with Rothrock, I think of him as, if you remember the 2014 season, Nagel and Barrett got a surprisingly high number of goals because they were able to, with Dempsey and Obafemi pulling so much attention and being such a threat, these other two sort of, standard MLS guys were getting, I forget the exact numbers, but it was around 9 goals each. And that's the role that Rothrock should be playing, where he's, you're so worried about the DP10 and the DP9 that Rothrock just ghosts in there, which he is good at, and picks up a bunch of, picks up close to double-digit goals. He's not allowed to do that because he's the only one trying to do everything. He's whipping in crosses. He's taking shots. He's trying to dribble. And it's just brutal. But to go back to your point about the press conferences, Rusnak actually seemed to kind of have a bit of a rallying cry in the last press conference where he said something like, nobody gives a shit if we go out and play ugly for 100 minutes and win.
I kind of disagreed.
Fair enough.
I disagreed with that, but yeah. Continue.
Well, when you're in a slide, if you gotta play Paraguay ball to get a win and get out of the slump, that's fine with me. My issue is that he followed up that comment with 0 defensive contributions, 0 tackles, 0 interceptions, 0 dribble attempts, 1 shot on goal, none on target, 39 touches. So you've got this guy who has, I looked it up, he's obviously been under Craig Weibel for his entire MLS career. He's gotten almost $17 million out of Craig Weibel. He has been paid a fortune, and he's telling everybody, "Oh, we got to go out there. We got to do the dirt." What?
I need a new boss.
Yeah. Well, he's saying, "Oh, we got to play ugly. We got to play hard," and then follows up with that kind of stat line where he gets thoroughly outplayed by a 16-year-old child. He gets bodied by a 16-year-old child. I mean, Kevin shrugged him off like he was a stuffed animal at one point. And Kevin's running everywhere. He's getting on the ball. He's slipping passes through. He's taking shots, all stuff that Rusnak isn't doing. So, I would be thoroughly in favor of just cutting Rusnak a check and getting him out of there, because you cannot go out there in your press conference as the highest paid player on the team, a guy who should be a leader, say we got to dig deep, we got to win ugly, and then put up that shit pile of a performance. Cut him a check. It's going to cost you 1/10 of the Club World Cup money. You open up a DP spot. Even if you don't sign somebody, you can put Jesus in the DP spot, and you've got a ton more GAM left over, and send a message that this kind of lazy ass performance is just not good enough. It's not tolerated. And it's going to send a message to those kids who are out there working their ass off, like a Stu Hawkins, like a Snyder Brunell, that we're not just going to let these multimillionaires coast on past glories that weren't that glorious to begin with.
I'm interested. I just conspired something. I just conspiracy theoried something here, and I want to hear your take on it. What if they've already told him that they're not going to re-sign him? And this is his way of just being like, I'm just going to
I seriously doubt they did that, but it might be he sees the
writing on the wall
situation. I wanted to say the whole premise of we just need to win ugly, results over performances type thing. I almost feel like it should be the opposite, man. Play better, go out there and put in a better effort and a better performance. And then if you still don't get the result, then I would think that you would be in a better place, both morale wise and just all around vibes wise. If you actually, if you go out, like James was saying earlier, if you had gone out in this game and got out ripped off some good counterattacks and scored a couple good goals, but you still lose the game anyway, I would take more positive from that than I would be if they uglied and scrapped out a trash 1-0 that really didn't look like the offense was doing anything, but they got lucky. You see what I'm saying? I feel like it's almost, that's flipped in my mind.
I don't think we have the players for that. I mean, you're down a couple of DPs, you're down your best creative player. If you're looking at it from the point of view of the coach and certainly the front office, a couple noble losses are less valuable to you than missing the playoffs. I mean, missing the playoffs is the one thing that's really going to piss people off. And whereas if you can just limp in there Paraguay style, it's going to be okay. But no, I'll sort of counter your conspiracy theory with one of my own, because I mean, again, I'm biased. I'm a brigadier for life. I don't think I don't think Rusnak's performances this year have been much worse than they ever are. I think he's just less lucky. But my thought is, I think Craig Weibel knows he's done for, because there's no urgency coming out of this. He either knows that he's going to lose the GM vote, but I'm assuming that the GM vote coincides with his contract. And I think he probably knows he's out of here anyway. I mean, he's just wasted way too much of Hanauer's money to survive at this point. So, you look at this, you're like, why aren't we getting any rumors? Why doesn't there seem to be any urgency in these press conferences? I think he knows he's done for. And look, he didn't work in MLS for 2 years before Garth gave his old buddy a pity job. He's not getting another job. So, I mean, he's just, my conspiracy theory is he knows it's over and he's just kind of running out the string.
I've heard that actually from a few people in the media world of he's quiet quitting.
Or at least people are theorizing that.
Yeah. Not that yet.
Well,
I'm not reporting that people are saying that he's doing that, but there's been rumbles of people who think that he knows he's cooked, or he's I am at the point essentially, or that he's at the point where he knows that Adrian won't give him any money. Without any money, he can't do anything, and he's already dug himself such a bad hole.
That's kind of what if I had to guess.
Yeah.
But. Yeah. I mean, well, if you look back, Lagerwey had such credit that Gianni was talking about cutting his season tickets because he's so ticked about this. I rage quit my season tickets in 2018, the day that Lagerwey did the interview where he said, oh, you want to be big in LA, you want to be big in Toronto, we're not trying to compete financially with them. I hated that interview. I said it to my ticket rep and I canceled my tickets. In hindsight, what I think Lagerwey's probably doing is trying to stir up enough anger that he was forcing Hanauer's hand and Ross' hand to give him the money to go out and get Rui Diaz in the summer. But Lagerwey had the track record and the clout to do that, and Weibel's track record is terrible, so he can't do that. And so, look, if he's quiet quitting, that wouldn't be the stupidest way he's quit a job at MLS. So
Garth did have that ability to push harder than just about anybody because of his pedigree, but additionally on top of that, because of who he was, he always demanded when he took that job that he would be listened to, and he wasn't going to take any shit. And I think the reason Craig has been, I think Craig is the opposite of that. He's very much a company man, as Brian Schmetzer put it in the press conference, where he understands the directive and he's not going to step out of line of that because he doesn't necessarily feel that that's the right way to handle business. It's less about his vision and more about accepting the vision that's been presented to him and trying to follow the path, which I think your boss is always going to try and screw you. So you should just try and do the best work you can, and you should advocate for yourself, which I don't think he did. And that's being generous to Craig and charitable to Craig, who I do think is a good person. But I do agree. I think unfortunately, his tenure is coming to a close here in Seattle. James, do you have anything else before we close it out here with you and move on to Tyler next?
My friend JD wanted me to point out that this is now 1,090 minutes since Albert Rusnak has had an open play goal or assist.
Ari, what do you have to say about that?
It's not great. It's not great.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you having me on. I hope you all have a nice evening. And Noah, I don't know if you heard me, but tell your mom that she's quite funny.
I will tell my mom that she is funny, and I appreciate it. Have a good night, James.
See you, James.
All right, Tyler, we're putting you on the stage. How are you, my friend?
Hey, guys.
Is that the famous misspelled MLS Cup hat?
It's the famous knockoff MLS World Cup hat. Yeah.
Oh my God. This is okay.
That's
I'm sorry.
That's
I just had
sick.
like a fangirl moment. That just brought me back.
I had to flash my kit for this one. Trying to keep the spirits up there.
It's so good.
So last time I was on, I asked you guys about interesting players. And I think the good news is I want to take some positives away from this game. I think we have some answers now about interesting players because we've now seen some Sebastian Gomez, and I like what I see from some Sebastian Gomez. We've seen more Stu Hawkins than we've seen in 3 years for some reason, but at least we're seeing it now. And I am now a Stu Hawkins fan, and I was a Stu Hawkins fan before, but more of a Stu Hawkins fan than I was before. That's pretty cool. And I think Peter Kingston had a really nice bounce back match after being pretty bad the last time he ran out. So, to the person who made the comment that, or maybe it was you guys that said the Defiance players are the ones playing, definitely true, but at least someone's playing out there. And I think you had a standard Rothrock, run for everywhere. I would actually like to see the miles tracked for Rothrock in that game because he ran an absolute marathon in that match. And I continue to be impressed by his willingness to just continue to try to fight people right up until the 91st minute. So that's good. Talking about the bad. So what is the purpose of subbing on Jesus Ferreira if he's going to get a golden look in the box and completely scuff the look? I don't really know what he's supposed to be doing other than putting that ball on target. So I found that pretty frustrating. I think Dotson had one good play, which was taking a foul in the 65th minute that he got a free kick out of. He did shield there nicely. Other than that, it was pretty bad. And Rusnak, I think we've covered enough, but definitely not the best performance. But I really do. I do want to say that I think we should be taking, was the Philadelphia Union, but I will ride with the optimists and say there was something in this match that was not present for sure in the Portland match, and certainly less so in the Austin match. And so I wanted to know if you guys felt the same way, even though we're all in 5-loss territory and all that stuff.
I mean, there's I don't know, I guess for lack of a better term, like the incrementalism of slowly getting better and slowly getting healthier is true. And I think to speak to one of the things that both Ari and I agree with is that this team will probably be fine this season. They'll make the playoffs. Maybe
they'll be better. They'll be better than this. I don't want to say
they'll be
fine,
better than this. Yeah.
Sure.
They'll get there, but does it address the problems? No. Does this run make just everything so much more glaring? And is it just a run where you're like, I just can't really excuse that? Yeah, kinda. So I don't know. It's a
I
mix of
think
both.
what really takes it into that territory is the Portland game. If all these games were going like these last couple have been, where it's just like the offense isn't doing anything, and then you give up a late goal in the Austin case, or you give up a 1-0 in Philly in this case. If the Portland game looked more like that, maybe you could squint at this whole thing more and be like, all right, they're at least like, they at least have their sort of baseline, and they're just not getting it done right now. They're not getting these games over the line. They're not getting these results. But you throw in getting 5-1 at home by the Timbies, and that just kind of puts it into this stratosphere of like, this is not just write offable. This is like unacceptable.
Yeah.
There's too many historics in the defeat category. 5 in a row never happened in Sounders history.
Yeah.
Biggest defeat at Lumen Field for the Sounders against Portland ever. I mean, that's two like very embarrassing things. I have people constantly in my replies like, the Sounders are bad. The Sounders are like, this feels wrong to me. Like there was I can't remember, a Charlotte fan. They're like, I'm uncomfortable. Like I'm uncomfortable with the Sounders being like this tragic. So
some Marvel movie timeline shit right there.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's the fallen hero. We literally are. We've lost our powers. Like, it's like The Boys. When what's his name loses his powers, and we're here. Sorry, is that probably a spoiler for some people? But, it's like, yeah, you're. What are we?
Yeah, I wanted to point out a couple things about the signings too, because I think it's really interesting. So 2013 and 2015 are the times people are really kind of comparing to this. Those were our bad four games in a row. It's really interesting to note that following 2015's losing streak, we signed Roman Torres, Nelson Valdez, and Ivancic. So that was really interesting to me, because I was like, well, there was some activity there, and they were also like, the team needs to get better. Let's get Roman Torres in, and I think he did make the team a lot better, especially the next season. So I think that's the type of thing I'd be looking for. 2013 also, I had to unmemory hole this or whatever, but that happened like a little bit after the Dempsey signing was announced. So I think everybody was pretty much like, who cares? Like, we're getting Dempsey in, when he gets back from Tottenham or whatever it was. So that, it's like, I just kind of speak to that as, I do think there's a lot of truth to the fact that the transfer rumors, the lack thereof, the lack of any sort of communication around that, and certainly the feeling like we can just kind of stand pat where we are, is exacerbating it as much as any of the results are, to my mind. Because I was obviously around for those other times, and Roman Torres was that was a really exciting signing. Like, to be like, oh yeah, this guy that we literally just saw in the Hex is going to come play for us. That's awesome. And then Dempsey, this guy we just literally saw play in the Hex, is going to come play for us. Same thing. So, I think, do we think one international slot is going to solve this problem, though, is the real question. And I just don't see it doing it. So,
don't worry, we can sell that slot.
Yeah, we can sell that slot
for $300K.
It's only appreciating in value, right? They're like magic.
Yeah.
You
buy
them, buy low, sell high 15 years later. That's what you can do.
Loan your up and coming striker that you signed, and make sure to not ever play him, even though your starting strikers can't score. And profit? ? 5 more steps after that. Profit?
Yeah. I wanted to ask one more thing, and then I'll let you guys kick me off. Yeah. But just in terms of, so I'm looking at domestic players here, because I think that's where we have to be looking. And I haven't seen a write-up on Sounder at Heart necessarily, but I'm curious if you guys have any USL guys, championship guys, that you're looking at as potentially like, hey, this could be the next, because Kingston actually was a USL 2 guy. For those people that are not absolute sickos like I am for American soccer, there's several levels that Kingston jumped actually to jump onto the Sounders there. A lot closer is obviously, USL Championship. So I'm curious if you guys have your eye on anybody out there, any Tulsa players, any New Mexico players, anybody that you've seen or you're looking at.
Man, I have not been following USL Championship enough this season to identify like specific targets, but like I think that, that's always a place where you can go and find like supplementary value. But when I think about like what this team needs to address, like its needle movers type situation, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm a little wary of banking a lot on that because it's just like they have a perfect example on this team right now of in Danny Musovsky of a striker who kind of fits the mold of there's a ton of data and numbers to suggest that if you're like an elite volume goal scorer in the USL, it'll translate to MLS. And with Moose, it pretty much has like actually in his career as a whole outside of this year, but like the whole thing.
And the year before the year he scored all those goals in the year before that. But,
Only 1 year before the year he scored a lot of goals. Okay. The point is
his rate numbers were good before though. To be fair. His rate numbers were very good.
His rate numbers, which I realize those don't count. I'm just saying this is how
no goals per 90. That's a fair stat.
It's not XG. The real
that is how scouts and front offices look at it. And there's a lot of examples of it. But then this is what I was gonna say is it's like I think you're kind of seeing the flip side of that, where this year it's like Moose is falling completely off the map. So like, I am, when I think of like what this team needs to actually go into the future on Bender standing, like with its roster, I feel like it's like, to me, the biggest thing is the DP situation has to get addressed. Like you can't, that's just priority number one. And I'm not so much sure like the supplementary moves even matter until that's ironed out.
I will say that I think the Sounders are very good at making those supplementary moves. I think go watch some Defiance games and you'll tell that like their pipeline is good. That's why they signed Mark Bronick, who was considered a very, very good USL player. Watching the Tacoma Defiance, they're a lot better this year than they were last year. Yeah. They have way more stability in their coaching staff now. But yeah, you have Charlie Gaffney, who's been playing really well in that right wing back position. And, Mark Bronick, he's got 7 goals, 3 assists, which isn't necessarily like elite by any means.
He's like an example of the type of guy to keep an eye on, I think.
But that's I think they're doing a good job there. So, I don't know. It's, I feel like the Sounders, like to Ari's point, they're good at identifying those people. I think it's the step up from that where it's like someone who you can get in an intra-league transfer, like a Jesus Ferreira type deal, but maybe like a little bit less on the numbers. What you would have wanted out of the Hassani Dotson deal or your designated players, like people who can actually, to Craig's credit, he's right. We need people who can show up and play day one, who are going to be able to beat out the talent that we have on the roster, but they don't want to spend for it.
And I want to say, to be clear, I think I'm talking about it more like if we're going to cut Hassani Dotson, like who are we putting in there? Like Sebastian Gomez is the type of player that I'm thinking about in my head. I'm like, our problem to me now, yes, I just don't think the number 9 problem is going to get solved. And so what I'm looking at is how do we improve the team overall? And I think it's like the players that we have available to move in as we've had these injuries it's not always been clear to me that there's a really good succession plan that runs through the organization and then outside the organization, that they're thinking like, okay, we have 2, the pivot is like the classic problem, right? You're like, this is the central part of our entire structure of our team. We have literally 2 guys that can play there, 2 guys. So if one of them gets hurt, I guess we're just screwed.
Yeah.
I guess
exactly. They need a 6 so much worse than they need a 9.
They did just sign a 6 to the Defiance though. This Costa Rican kid who
that's right. Yeah.
He doesn't have that much tape, and frankly, I don't know shit about the Costa Rican league to actually be honest with you on the quality.
That's not going to do it. Yeah, you need to sign a guy. It's not going to do
it now, but it's like, to your point, it's the succession plan isn't completed. It's like it's there somewhat, like they're trying to build it, but he's not ready to go right now. So yeah.
And I would just close on, when you have a team of players who 90% of your starters are 29 or older, to me, I would be prioritizing the succession plan if I was a GM, and it doesn't feel like that's happened. So that's all. That was where I wanted to kind of bring it around.
Fully agree.
So, but thank you guys very much. You guys are always crushing as usual.
You are crushing even more with that hat. I'm very jealous.
The hat's crushing it.
I'll keep bringing out the like real vintage, gear as we go along here. If things get real bad, I'll start going into the closet. So
We need the mojo. Well, Tyler, thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate you.
Thanks,
Talk
Tyler.
soon. All right, Jesus, are you ready to go?
I'm gonna go grab some water, but I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. Jesus is unmuted. We're Jesus and then Timbo and then Sam, and then the queue is empty. So, Jesus, you're on.
Hello.
How we doing?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep. Can you hear us?
Yeah or no?
Yep.
Let me go back. Let me go back.
All right, Jesus is not working. Timbo, you ready? Yep. All right, sweet.
Let me make sure you guys can hear me before we move on.
Yeah, you sound a little garbled, but sure we can hear you.
Hold on, let's test some stuff out real quick. I mean, our show can't be press conference from earlier, right?
No, exactly. It can't be any worse.
That was good tech.
That
That
does
was good
sound
tech.
better though.
So I mean, let's start off with the presser tonight. Just kind of, I kind of want to call out Jada Evans for the Seattle Times tonight, and I know she's been a great person to cover the Sounders in the last 6 years, but I'm really irritated with her calling out Brian tonight on the resume. This isn't the National Football League. It's MLS soccer. It's and not to say that 5 losses, in the history of the Sounders is a bad thing, but like the fact that there's a bipolar component of this press conference, because on one end she's calling out the coach. Hey, are you worried about your job? Yeah, and not like thinking about the last 10 years of what this coach has brought to this team, and the fact that due to the resources available, we aren't going to get a better manager for the rest of the year if they decide tomorrow that that's it, or after the Portland game or after the Toluca game, or like the fact that changing up the manager right now will absolutely sink this team.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that.
I will say.
A lot of,
oh yeah, so go for it. Go for it.
yeah, I think a lot of fans and people who follow the team very closely understand a lot deeper the feeling, and a lot of us. But I do think it's a question that is asked not just to like push and be like, shouldn't you be fired? Like I don't. I think
Yeah, like you should. Why we have a press conference with you? You're 5 losses in. On the other hand, I just want to add. Then we go into like, hey, how do you feel about joining the U.S. men's national team? They got an open spot. Like,
well,
it's very just a weird. I think
I mean to say that like Jada is asking the question as the means of getting an answer, less so than a means of prompting something or having some kind of comment about it. Like the way that she approaches her interviews, I think, is a lot more to do with getting the answer to the question, which is, when you're writing about this team having 5 losses, you can quote Brian Schmetzer saying, listen, I think that I've earned enough leash to be able to go through more than what a lot of MLS coaches have. And she's writing for a reader base that isn't really tapped into MLS all the time.
That's
She's
fair
writing for
too.
the Seattle Times
Exactly.
readers.
That's what I was gonna say. I think. I mean, first off, it's not really like her or any other reporter's job to like take into consideration what they think or what people think about what firing the manager might do. It's like, to me, like a reporter asked that question when the results and the vibes are bad enough that it starts becoming an actual question. And I do think that we are at that point. So like from that end, like it's a question that's gonna get asked by her or somebody else, like when the results go this sideways. And when I first heard her follow up of like, well, why do you think you have that long of a leash? I did have the reaction that I think a lot of people did of like, does Brian Schmetzer really need to like explain that to like anybody? Like, we all know that his resume is second to none of any coach in MLS history. So to have him like have to defend that seems crazy to us, but we're also diehards. We're sickos. We're plugged in.
I mean, we're sickos, but
every day. So like, if she's trying to give context to people that don't have that same context, they might want to know why Brian Schmetzer thinks that. So I think that's probably how she was thinking of it, not as like a I'm going to put Schmetz on blast type thing. It's more just
or heat up the seat at this point at this conference.
Right.
I mean, That's fair. The second thing I saw tonight at halftime were, people were like Thomas out of goal. And yes, goalie made a mistake tonight. It happens in soccer and in football in general. And honestly, he seemed to play great the rest of the game. I did see him making moves and saves that I don't think Fry or somebody, and not to say Fry wouldn't do that, but there's an age component there. He's not, if I'm 30 going into 40 making dives to shots that are close but not there, I'm probably not making those dives and throwing myself to the ground the way I saw Thomas do tonight. And those people who want Thomas out, they're going to get opportunity to see Fry in goal before the season is out with Leagues Cup.
Yeah, don't you worry.
It kind of blows my mind. I think Thomas has earned his spot, has earned, it's not a goalie or a defense issue. I think right now, if you look at the goals over the last 5 games, we have 2. One of them's garbage time in Portland. The other one is Rothrock, kind of like a ugly goal, but it's a goal, and could have tied up that game had we not imploded. The good news tonight is I don't think the Sounders imploded like they did the last 2 games.
Low bar. I mean, didn't implode. Bar met, yeah.
The bar I was kind of hoping for tonight was the 0-0 draw. Honestly, no, I wanted to see some boring soccer in Philly.
No crash out red cards in the city of Philadelphia. Great job by everyone involved.
Let the Rocky music play.
I mean, it is what at this point, like coming, and it wasn't 90 degrees in Philly tonight. I mean, incinerator aside. So, I guess on last notes, the Nolan film I mentioned the last time I won was the Odyssey, not the Dark Knight. Noah, I appreciate the Joker impression.
Honestly, that intro was incredible. Like, I'm gonna watch that a lot.
He said, "Why so serious?
Why so serious?" I mean, the vibes are bad. So
they're not good.
They're not good. We had to come up with something,
So
that was me. I'll do an Odyssey one,
Timbo,
but I have to go see it first.
Timbo, do you think what is your feelings on as bad as things are right now? Is this cope or hope? You do have Christian Roldan and Yamar coming back theoretically, and as much as
I thought we had Pedro de la Vega also.
I'm just trying not to even say it because that people react as such. The resources are as such, but do you think are you feeling any cope in like, all right, once Christian gets back, once Yamar gets back, and maybe we get a little de la Vega in there, it'll improve, or are you feeling nihilistic and fatalistic?
I mean, I am a little bit, but I know that Roldan will replace Dotson. As soon as we get Dotson off the field, I think we're a lot better of a team. I understand that he's an MLS veteran and he had a few good years in Minnesota. Those days are gone. Like, I haven't seen anything that would present that in his play the last few games. I think he's been kind of a sieve. I think we're lucky to not have lost this game 2-0 due to a hairline offside call. Like,
I don't think he was off. I don't think he was. I think he was
like, I'm for all the bitching that Sounders fans do about the refs fucking making like terrible calls. I've seen a couple that have like really bailed us out of a sinking ship. That call tonight, and then the simulation call against Rothrock, that should have been red, like, or a second yellow, or whatever the situation is that made we should have been down a guy. Like, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. But yes, I think Yamar's coming back and Roldan, especially Christian Roldan coming back is huge. Clearly, I mean, there's a fire there too. There's kind of, you see that out of guys like Peter Kingston and Paul Rothrock, where they might as well get tattoos of the crest at this point, because they bleed and sweat and live it. And I think Christian Roldan's in that same kind of pool of players. So having him on the field, having that kind of inspiring leadership, is veteran leadership, frankly, is a good thing.
Completely agree. Amazing. Well, Timbo, thank you for calling in. And
hey, we still got to build a bonfire in Portland, so that's the next. I understand people aren't excited about that. We could throw the owner and the GM at the top, but I'd like to put the Timbers up there too.
Can we leave the owner in Portland? Can we just leave him there? I don't know. Maybe he can like own like a US.
I can't believe we have to watch this team play the Timbies again right now.
Can
dude.
I?
Oh
Can
my
I?
God.
I'll let you go here, Timbo. But I do have a take for Ari after this. So thank you for calling in.
Have a good night, boys.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Sam,
it,
before we
Timbo.
get to you, you're next, but I'm just gonna make this take here and you can answer it in a second. But our good friend Colton Kaiser, who's been on
Let's
our vlog
go.
before.
Yeah.
I was talking to him today, and he had an idea for ownership. He said, take one Hanauer, the multi-millionaire Hanauer, the small M millionaire or capital M millionaire, and give it to the small B billionaire Hanauer, his brother. He sells the club to his brother or just transfers ownership. His brother can keep him in charge, but we actually have more money. Thoughts? This is Colton's idea, not mine.
That's a Colton Cook right
Yeah.
there. I don't really care who it is. I was saying I wanted it to be the AI tech oligarch who bought the Seahawks.
I don't want him. I don't want him.
He's got cash. He's got the cash.
Does he?
He's got the cash.
I don't know him.
His net worth a lot of billions. Someone with that kind of net worth.
Why can't we just like why didn't we both inherit like $1 billion? We would be way better. We would be potting like after the games.
Can you
as
imagine if we
owners.
had? Can you imagine if we had the oligarch budget for our show? Oh my god, man! We would have like 4.5K subs.
Dude, it'd be crazy. We'd have 4.5K at least. Sam, are you ready? We're gonna bring you in. How are we?
What's up, Sam?
I'm doing all right. I mean,
5 L's in a row.
5 L's in a row. Yeah,
5 L's in a row isn't great.
You're never going to be good on the 5th L in a row.
No, definitely not. I mean, like,
never
okay,
felt
like,
it. We've never felt what 5 L's in a row feels like.
Definitely not.
We haven't. I mean, we're bordering on historic territory at this point. I really don't want to lose 6 games in a row. Like, please. But I do want to respond to your take about selling to Adrian's brother. I don't know. It feels like a kind of situation where it'll be the Scooby-Doo meme where you kind of take the mask off and it's just Adrian underneath. Like, nothing's gonna change if we did that. I know it's a joke anyways, but even still. Geez. I guess like on the game itself, like, look, like the day was great. At least we didn't get rained out like 2 years ago, because that was a fucking miserable experience traveling all the way down there. And then, getting about 5 minutes gameplay and the ball couldn't even move. So, I mean, we don't need to relitigate that or anything, but I don't know. It'd be nice if we played a little bit better, but if we want to take a little silver lining, against Portland, we conceded 5. Against Austin, it was 3. Tonight it was 1. Maybe we win the game by 1-0. We'll see.
It's so sick how low the bar is right now. We're like, all right, didn't concede 5, didn't get a crash out red card, didn't score a goal, but only lost by 1.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I mean, like, okay, like there's a lot of like negative stuff going around about the players, and it's like obviously like we're not gonna speak bad about any of the Defiance kids. They obviously care, but like one guy I did really want to highlight, Snyder Brunel, like definitely had a much better game tonight than the last couple, but he was the first player to walk over to ECS tonight. He stayed there applauding the entire time. He was the last player to leave. Like that guy cares.
Yeah.
Like, I can really appreciate that. I know everyone else did. And I know a lot of the other guys on the team do. I mean, none of them want to lose, but I mean, it sucks. It sucks losing, but
I'm willing to live with the struggles that Snyder is going through right now. It's like when you have like a minor league baseball prospect who is everyone knows is going to be hella good, but then they call him up and then he's hitting like 198 because he's not ready yet, and he's going and he has to go through that, and then the next year because he went through that he's going to hit 300. Like Snyder is 100%. In that he's in that like 2 for 46 rut of like a prospect that is just going through it.
You don't get the big jumper without him taking a shit this season,
That's a better way to put it. Yeah, exactly.
You really don't. You really don't.
He will. Snyder will be stronger for this. He will be stronger for this.
There's kind of like one other thing I kind of wanted to bring up too. Is like I kind of forget who said this. I'm not sure if it was someone from the Sounders organization, or if this was like maybe like a Matt Doyle thing. But I mean, like there's kind of like the general rule of thumb where if you kind of need like 9 of 11 starters on the field for depth players to like play
Yeah.
well, you need like the support around them. And I mean, like we're missing 6 starters, I guess, like Pedro, Jordan, Yamar, Christian, Alex, Jackson. Yeah, that's 6 right there. I mean, like you're just not going to be able to, like, it's even if your substitute, your depth players are like good players, you're still just not going to be able to perform to the same level. And it's like that kind of sucks for the guys like Snyder, who's, I mean, like this is his first year as a sub. He's 18, 19 years old at this point. Like, I don't know. You can't really expect too much out of him. But yeah, the injury crisis is kind of brutal, and it's no excuse still. The team needs to perform. 5 losses in a row is just straight up not acceptable. But
yeah, exactly. That's why the injury thing is I don't know. Like it is all true, but it's more than a little cope, I think, because the reason is because this team used to be able to be in situations like this and not have to make these excuses that we're making for them right now. They didn't used to. They used to be a team that was like, like that's what I loved about the kind of culture of the team last year is they were in this exact situation. Like it was maybe not this bad, but it was pretty much just as bad. And they went out and they said, we
had some terrible times last year.
Yeah, and this team went out there every week and they said, we don't give a shit. We're the Seattle Sounders. We have this injury. We have that injury. We don't need 3 DPs. We're going to go out there. We're going to take results and we're going to rip it up in Leagues Cup anyway, because that's what we do, man. We don't make excuses. That's the culture that I know this team to have. And so for us to have to sit here and be like, well, any team, if you lost this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, and this guy, then you would be chalked. But like, no, not this team. This team didn't used to have to like do that. So that's like honestly the thing that I think is the most concerning is the fact that they're in this situation, admittedly dire, and they're having to go to that well. They're having to go to the, well, if everyone's hurt, but it's like, no, Seattle Sounders don't say that. They don't.
Yeah, Brian Schmetzer says it every time. It's next man up mentality. Just got to do better. Got to perform.
That wasn't lip service. That was a real tenet of this team in the culture.
Yeah, I mean, it's to be fair, it's not to say that there aren't some players who are taking it seriously. I mean, like, look at our center backs. Yeah, they're like 19 and 17 years old by the end of the game or something like that. Like,
yeah,
it's ridiculous. That should not be a starting MLS pair of center backs. And that's not to say they did bad or anything at all. Just it's just kind of the reality of it. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of the last thing I wanted to like kind of get into a little bit is like, man, we really need reinforcements in attack. Like, no, I'm not even saying it needs to be like a starting level caliber player, but we need different player profiles. Like, it's like I hate to relitigate this kind of too, where it's like, yeah, we traded Georgie away. It's just the reality of it, and I'm not saying like he necessarily would have helped us a ton, but like. One kind of interesting fact is just like, yeah, I mean, like regardless of production that he had on the field, like players were terrified to defend him. Just that simple gravity that he and players of his skill set are able to create, like it creates space for other players, even if he's not adding the box score, of which he's not really doing in Colorado either. Like it makes the game easier for everyone else around him, whether that be Albert Rusnak or Jesus Ferreira. And I don't know. I mean, like we can play the game of what ifs all we want, and it's not going to change the reality of anything on the field. But I mean, it's just one kind of interesting thing of just what kind of the positive cascading effect a player like him can have. And I don't know. Hopefully, we're able to bring someone in who has just a different skill set to what everyone else does. Hey, you and me both.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's my response to all of that. All of those correct takes. It's it just feels so brutal. Sam, do you have anything else, or are you going to leave us with that beautiful? I don't even know what to say.
Let's fucking win next game.
I love it.
Win next game.
Let's fucking win next game. Sam, thank you so much for calling in. We'll see you against Portland for our dub pod.
Yeah.
When we beat Portland.
Fingers crossed.
When we beat Portland.
Hey, Ari, Somos, you need us. All right.
Somos
have a good night, guys.
Unidos.
There we
Later,
go.
Sam.
Shout out New Mexico. All right. Jesus, are you ready again?
We got Jesus, and then we got Nat, and then we're calling it.
All right. What's up, Jesus? Can you hear us now?
So, yeah, my bad. My wife has just been total ass all week. I
It's
think
all
the
good.
Sounders with their shitty performance, I think melted my router. But anyways, let's get to the point. I think what the team has needed and so far needed. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Defiance kids did really good job, and seeing how they performed today was great. Rock, Brunel, Kingston. I mean, shout out to Kingston. He came out like one of those barrio teams. You know, what's that one team I forgot? Like I know, you guys promote it all the time.
Ballard FC.
Ballard.
Ballard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ballard FC. I noticed that it reminds me like a Rayo Vallecano in Madrid, one of the last barrio teams. But yeah, let me get straight to the point of the game. Well, I was at work at the time, so I only got to see limited action, and thank God I missed half of it because half of my charge went away watching this game. Well, we seriously need a number 9, and we seriously just come on, just win next game, man. We have to go back to that shithole called Portland.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Dude, if they get waxed, like what happens if they just get absolutely waxed, which might happen?
Oh my God. I don't think Brian Schmetzer should be fired, but I have a feeling a little bit of devil. And I'm wearing the 2016 kit with the golden star on it. If you guys can see.
I see that.
The golden star on it.
Hey, the year they got that star, they were a lot worse than this. Like against all odds. So,
yeah, I remember. That was the worst time I ever seen.
That team was worse than this team.
For sure.
Yeah.
Not that I want to compare any Sounders team to that team, 'cause that was like dog days. But like we've said, at least they did something to make that team better.
Right.
Now.
Yeah.
That year it was like, all right, it's very clear
now,
what the team is missing, and then they went out and spent a bunch of money and they got it.
Yeah.
Got it done. But rather right now, I don't know where the ownership's at. I don't know what Craig's doing. Probably just glazing off of Adrian Hunter's money. Probably spending a lot of it.
Not enough of it. He's not spending enough of it.
Not enough of it, but
yeah.
Like I was thinking about it earlier, saying what happens if the Sounders were actually bought by the Saudis? Could they probably bring like Kareem Benzema type signing? Imagine they break the bank for somebody from Europe, which I totally doubt would happen. I mean, look at all the players that came from Europe to the United States. They love the United States. Holland to be example. Holland.
I feel like if the Saudis took over the Sounders, there would be even more unhappy fans than just being this broke. Like it would be a tough scene. But you know what?
Honestly,
anyone else, I don't know.
Like
Someone's got to have money.
Yeah, Inter Miami probably is already cheating, and you know it's bad when the MLS is investigating. It's horrible.
Miami does love to cheat.
They're allowed. They're allowed to cheat. They're going to investigate.
It was investigated, Ari. It was investigated.
They're going to be investigated and be like, "That's legalized cheating. That's fine."
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
you know, we only have one hope. We only have one hope. Macklemore. I bet you have the same amount of money as Adrian Hanauer. Take over the club. Macklemore, Ben Haggerty, take over the club. We need a different kind of white boy swag in there.
All we have left.
Take it over.
Yeah. I'm gonna pop some tags. But Jesus, anything you want to leave us with here?
Honestly, just like we need all fans to travel to Portland. I mean, I don't care if we get pelted by a bunch of beer by a bunch of salty Portland fans who have nothing else to cheer about besides their Super Bowl win, their Mickey Mouse championships. They have not won anything. And honestly, I don't really care about Portland. What it is to do in Portland, as Joakim Noah once said, but I have other stuff. But like as Didier Drogba says, I don't recognize my club anymore. I don't recognize the club anymore. We used to always be Portland.
Oh my God! Everyone's dishing which type of oligarch they want to buy the club. That's how down bad we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody. just horrible, man. But I still love the team, the Sounders, so I die. And if we win the MLS Cup, and I mean next year, or this year, I'll probably get the logo tatted because why not? I travel 3 hours away to see this team every single day, spend my hard-earned money, because I love this team. And yeah,
Well, we need them to come through for you, Jesus. So thank you for
yeah,
calling in. Do it for
thank you
for
guys.
the team that drives.
Yeah, I
So
will.
we
Yeah, I
will
do it
we'll
all the
talk to you
time.
soon.
But have a good night, guys. Thank you for having me. My bad on the technical difficulties, but yeah, see you
All
guys
good.
next
No, you
Saturday.
sound
I'll be
good.
back here for the dub against Portland, baby. Go
There we
Sounders,
go.
baby.
See you soon, Jesus.
Appreciate it, Jesus.
Nat, all right. You're gonna close us out here. Just you give us your slander. Go for it. Just let it be.
Stu
Your new
Hawkins,
brigade.
he needs to go away. He's useless. He's doing nothing. The one, he's still useless. Like he's our worst player.
He played well.
We still lost. We don't
because
win when
of
he plays.
because of Stu Hawks, because of the defense that gave up one goal when they generated 0.01 xg.
I like the point. I do like the person who brought up the point about how it should be. People are gonna look at the score line and say that this game is better than the other games because of the score line, but it is true. Like the defense, is who we should have been worried about, and we had more of our attack on the field. So we should have been able to score against a Philadelphia team that is just going nowhere right now. So I do really agree with that, and it's still the defense held for most of the game, but still every game that Stu Hawkins is in, I know that there's going to be a moment where he is going to let the other team have a massive chance. And just he's been on the team for way too long, and now maybe he's only now starting to get consistent playing time, but it's was he been on the team for so long? I don't know. His leash is too long. But
I agree that he should have been playing earlier.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
But we had other center backs who should have been playing ahead of him as well. So, but I'm more mad. I'm honestly more mad at Jackson Reagan because still, after getting one of the stupidest red cards ever, no apology, no post or anything, nothing on Twitter, nothing on Instagram, apologizing to the fans for making one of the stupidest decisions, which is just a frustration play. There's no other way to put that. It's not it's just you're on a yellow card. The way that you get a second yellow card, you have in this way, what the comments are saying, Hawkins is better than Reagan, because I do think if Hawkins had done something, he's putting out a post apologizing for the behavior. Because that red is absolutely terrible, and Reagan needs to speak up about something. So the fact that he's being silent, speak up, Reagan.
As Young Thug once said, he don't got
all
internet.
The players, all of our players, all of our DPs who are just staying quiet. Morris, again, where are you? Say something. Talk about how this is embarrassing. The players got to be fair. I want to hear from the players and not have them hiding behind a terrible press conference connection, because that is also ridiculous. What is this? Why is
the hostage?
It's not hard.
The quality of the
they want $400 million a year for their TV rights deal, by the way, but can't even set up a fucking lav mic.
The quality of the hostage videos, I think, really just it just adds to the situation right now. It's we just watched this trash game, 5 losses in a row, historically bad run of form, 0.01 xg, and then you get the Zoom call just not even connecting. You can't understand what's being said. It's this is really just and I I can sympathize with tech difficulties and specifically as it pertains to Zoom calls, so I get that, but it is also It's not even just the Sounders. It's like, how do not all these teams not have lav mics and like
Okay, this isn't. There's no standard operating procedure for any of the PR MLS stuff, and that's a problem because MLS HQ doesn't care and they're not smart enough to figure that out. But also, like, why don't they just do it like every other league in the world? They also they don't have to publish all of the like, not all teams publish their press conferences. So you have to like literally dig through shit to be able to try and find it. Like when we try and find crash outs,
Yeah.
it's like actually a scavenger hunt to try and find the clubs that post them and don't. So
Well, MLS is always trying to say, like, take us seriously. Like, take us seriously.
we'll
And
take
then,
it from
like,
here.
we have stuff like this. And then, like, just on the Inter Miami game that was on Wednesday, they had no commentators for the first 5 minutes. They just had a graphic that said experiencing audio technical difficulties. And it's like, okay, I understand that happens. I do broadcast stuff. Like, yeah, stuff happens. But there's so much money with how much Apple is paying so much, like, in a Messi wasn't playing in that game, but Messi's team, like, how is that happening? That's not
Suarez.
happening in other leagues.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just, like, you want to be taken seriously. Well, then fix these simple stuff.
Well, I think it's funny because me and Ari like broadcast live stream on location all the time. Is it always perfect? No, but like how can two fucking idiots with no like resource, we don't have financial, we
our
get $2
resources
super chats.
Our resources are not as such.
Yeah, our operating income, our total revenue is less than like a livable wage in Seattle. So like we're making it happen. How are we making it happen? I don't know.
Yeah.
Tragedy.
And yeah, right now I'm trying to I really don't know what to do about this next Saturday game, because it's like, normally if I'm free on a Portland game, I'm like, I want to go to this game. It's Portland. It's close by. And I mean, I do compared for some MLS stadiums, like I do actually think Providence Park is better than a lot of them. Like it actually is an.
I like going to games there. I don't have problems saying it.
Yeah, the new stand that they built on the far side, like that is actually really nice. I was looking at, and like tickets for those, like in that new stand area, like pretty good seats, like you are available for like $60, which is like, it's like fine, but it's like I even like for that, it's like, I don't know, like, do I want to watch this get scored on 4 times, like and then drive 3 hours back, like it's like, what is happening with the Sounders? It is true, like we've never really felt this way, and it's like
maybe it was maybe it was inevitable eventually. Like it's been a pretty charmed life. Like they really have not had a lot of, most teams have been through stuff like this multiple times between the times that Seattle has ever felt like this. And the last time Seattle felt like this, they literally won MLS Cup that year. So no one remembers that badly. That's everyone looks back on that as like, hey, wasn't that funny when everything was asked for half a year and then the team won MLS Cup, like now, but now it's like reality setting in.
I just don't want to
Flew
become
too close
the
to
LA
the sun.
Galaxy. Like the LA Galaxy, like pretty much since, I mean, yeah, they won one MLS Cup, but since 2014, since that 2014 team, I would say, like, their team has just been so depressing because the team has just never played entertaining soccer, or has just felt like they have been.
See, I feel like last year they were ripping it for a minute there, man. Like, I don't know, like
the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Seattle. Yeah, the Galaxy. Yeah, no, yeah.
Like, yeah, they had like the one run, but like just like just like it just feels like even they don't care. Like they'll bring in one big star, but then they're like, all right, that person's gonna carry us. But still, they just haven't been the same from what they were in like in their heydays, and it's like people are still trying to remember that, and like the Sounders fans are talking about our heydays. So it's just like, yeah, I want to go. It's tough. And I agree with what you said, Noah, about firing Schmetzer is not the answer there, because it's like there is no one better right now who we could pay for what the Sounders would be willing to pay their coach. So,
resources not as such.
Yeah,
so,
resources
and
not as
it's
such.
yeah. I don't think I don't know what Preki. I don't know if Preki is ready to be the coach of the Sounders. I don't think that would be enough of a change. The problem is Hanauer. We need Hanauer to speak again. He used to like to do interviews. Say something now.
Adrian
Where is
Hanauer,
he right
come
now?
on the Lobbing Scorchers podcast. You will be reincarnated as a lotus flower.
Yeah, he should. That would be if he actually cares about this team, like he should.
I agree. It would also be good for our numbers. So that would, if he actually cares about this podcast, you know.
And Wable, like, you have nothing to lose. Like, why are you going out silently? Nothing to lose.
Go down
Say
swinging.
something.
Go down swinging.
Again.
This is my favorite take that you've had. It's like, just fucking go for it. Who cares?
Go out. He has
Sign
nothing
whoever.
to lose. He's
Sign
not
whoever.
going to get a better job.
Sign whoever
There's
you
no
want. The world is your oyster, brother.
Yeah.
Give out some ridiculous contracts now. Just make something happen. All right.
I love it. Well, Nat, thank you so much for closing
Should
us
I go
out
to
here.
Portland? Should I buy a Portland ticket?
We're going.
We're gonna go. I'm trying to figure out hotels though,
All right.
because it's a fucking. Why is it $200 a night? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
So
I like the days when ECS actually ran buses.
yeah,
Let's do that. Bring that back, ECS. Get on there.
maybe we need a ECS. Maybe we need to do Lobbing Scorchers buses. Maybe that's our new funding vehicle, literally vehicle. Anyway,
Yeah,
Nat,
all
thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate
Have a
you.
good night.
And we'll see you after the Portland game. Ari, we just have a couple super chats and then we can get out of here.
Okay, super chats, and then I have one thing real quick, and then we can get out of here.
Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, you guys want to feel worse? You guys want to feel worse? The Portland Timbies came back and are now up 2-1 against RSL, and Felipe Mora scored both goals in his last game with the club. So they're having this like magical vibe-filled evening at Providence Park where they went down a goal and are now, and they also went into this game under the delusion that they're now relevant because of what they did to Seattle. So now they're like even more cloud-nining and thinking that they're onto something this season, which that's going to crash and burn, and they're going to become irrelevant and non-competitive like they always are. But right now it's just unfortunate because their fans are in that like self-deluded stage where they think that they're good. And that's just always frustrating. And then meanwhile, LAFC are absolutely tearing apart the club of wrestling enthusiasts with Sun Heung-min scoring another goal, and Denny Bouanga and David Martinez, who are both super sick, really fun to watch players, also scoring a goal. So it's just like,
it would be really cool. What is
if
it
you
like
needed
to
a
be-
little insult to that injury, there you go.
What is it like to beat the club of professional wrestling enthusiasts? That I do not know. In the God's year of 2026, that's something that I don't know.
It's just we're in hell right now, folks. But if I'm going to hell, I'm glad that you all are coming with me, and I wouldn't go with anyone else. So, God damn it, we'll be going to Portland. We'll be doing our show. We'll be doing this content like we always do. On one hand, it's obviously unfortunate what's taking place with the Seattle Sounders, but it has made the shows interesting. And I think we've had a lot of really good discussions. And I think we've had a lot of discussions that are kind of going to prelude a lot of what's to come with this team, because regardless of what happens, I think this season, I would be surprised if it stays this bad, like their worst team in the league bad for the rest of the season. But I think what's interesting about this stretch is that it's laid bare a lot of stuff that was probably coming down the road anyway, and that was going to have to be reckoned with one way or the other. So maybe we're just doing that a little bit earlier than anticipated. But either way, it's not fun times right now for Seattle, but it is interesting times. So at least there's that. Noah, you got anything to leave us with?
No, just these 3 super chats here. We start with Third String Star, who says, I would like to see us give Jesus a run at the 10 rather than Rusnak. I don't understand why this isn't an approach. I don't understand why they didn't start Jesus, but that's a whole other question.
I will say on that topic, like when De La Vega gets back and if you're going to put him in the starting lineup, which I think they absolutely have to do, it's like, who do you drop? Like, I think it is Rusnak. I think you have to start Ferreira at the 10. You have to put De La Vega on one flank and Rothrock on the other with this Osaze Moose super platoon. Remember at the presser when Schmetz called it the 3-headed monster? I was like, bro, don't say that.
3-headed monster with 0 goals.
Anyway, when De La Vega gets back and is immediately put in the starting 11 to save the season, Ferreira's got to be the starting 10, and Paul Rothrock, you don't drop him either. Like, you got to make a tough decision on that and bench a DP, but it is what it is.
Completely agree. All right, we got Gianni. New member being better than this is such a low bar. You'd have to step in a pothole, just trip over it. Maybe it's. Thank you for the $5. I don't know what's happening.
I think I see what happened there, but it's.
Yeah, for sure.
He pasted new member accidentally.
Yeah. Being better than this is such a low bar. I see. Being better than this is such a low bar. You'd have to step in a pothole.
Yes, that is where the bar is right now.
It's
though.
in hell.
That's
it's
where.
in hell. Yeah. And James with the 2 bones. Got to run. Thanks, guys. Like and subscribe. What a perfect way to end this. If you enjoyed listening to this, maybe you're watching it on X the Everything app or Twitter, as we like to call it. You can check our YouTube out at youtube.com/@LobbingScorchers. Check out all of our social media and links at links.lobbingscorchers.com. And for all of you watching, visit lobbingscorchers.com. Something's coming this week. And I think you're going to enjoy it. So just check it out. Lobbingscorchers.com. Sign up for the emails, and you might see something cool happen. But like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to this on audio, subscribe to the podcast. Rate 5 stars. Shout out to our sponsors: Podium Menswear, Hacks and Ferments,
Full Wines, QED Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you, the YouTube members. So thank you guys. Ari, anything else? We're ready to go.
Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We out.
Should I play the outro?
Yeah, play it again. Play it again.
Let me. Okay.
Play it again. I want to watch it again. I want to watch it.
All right.
Again.
Bye, everyone.
There is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression, there is no fucking mindset in this football club. You won't give any players, you won't give money, nothing you give, you load players and you expect them to play cycle. Load up like cycle.
You wanna know how I got these scars? My father was a drinker and a fiend. In one night, he goes out crazier than usual. Mommy gets the kitchen knife to defend herself. He doesn't like that. Not one bit. So we watch it. He takes the knife to her. Laughing while he does it, he turns to me and says, "Why so serious?" Comes at me with the knife. "Why so serious?" He sticks the blade in my mouth. "Let's put a smile